pull up a chair. This is Off the Back Porch. Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer is brought to you in part by Country Village Sporting Goods. Everything you need to get in the woods, the water, or to the camp is at Country Village Sporting Goods. Jason Hardy State Farm. Like a good neighbor, Jason Hardy at State Farm is there. And Larry's Pizza in El Dorado, home of the Double Pizza Parade.
20 plus years of bringing you the most important and latest information with local happenings, news, sports, opinions, and probably an attempt at humor. Also brought to you in part by Davis Farms Country Market. For farm to table fresh, it's Davis Farms Country Market. Cook's Body Shop. Chances are it will happen. And when it does, look to Cook's. Murphy Arts District. For the latest information on concerts and events, go to eldomad.com.
Recorded live from Main Street Pizza in historic, beautiful downtown El Dorado, Arkansas. With a history of being the voices you trust. This is Off the Back Porch with Boomer and Sandy. Or Sandy and Boomer. Or two old guys you've known for a long time, whatever. And now your hosts, Troy, Boomer, Barrios, and B.A. Sandy Sanford.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. Glad to have. Hey, fellas, how are y'all? They all turned around and looked. They're like, yeah, they're like, what in the heck? Boomer, here we are at our favorite place, and that's Main Street Pizza.
Yeah, where the locals come to eat, where the pizza's always the same, and the beer's the coldest in town.
So I've been told.
That's it. That's what I've been told too.
Yeah, you have it down. You ought to do commercials.
I should. I used to, but I wasn't any good at it.
You didn't make enough money, did you? You know, one of my benefits that I used to tell employees was, hey, we'll never pay you enough to get you off food stamps. So you can keep your food stamps and your job.
And your, you get your housing at a discount price. We'll keep all that in. Yeah.
Well, Boomer, easily the most beautiful guest we've had
so far
on the podcast.
Yes.
So far. He's got high aspirations.
Yes, he does. So we want to welcome this week my oldest child and future legal counsel for South Arkansas Now and Off the Back Porch, which we're going to need a whole lot of. And that is Micah Sanford. Hello, Micah.
Hello.
Just for this show even.
Yeah. Well, not for this show, because I can't give you legal advice yet.
That's what I mean in the future, because we're gonna make mistakes.
Here in a couple months, you call me. You say, "Can I say this?" And I'll say, "Don't you dare!" And then you'll say it anyway, and then we'll go into phase B. We'll clean it up.
Hey, she could be on Landman.
Yeah, that's listen. Oil and gas leases, that seems to be where it's at.
Yeah.
They're talking about the kind of numbers on that. I'm like, how do you put that many zeros on a script? I mean,
oh, man. Yeah. And when that lawyer explained to them where all the money was, I said, they know how to hide it.
Yeah, I hadn't got there yet. Don't tell me.
Okay, I'm sorry. You hadn't got to that. You're not watching it as it goes.
No, I'm a few weeks behind.
Okay. I won't tell you then.
I'm a few weeks behind right now.
They found that $400 million, by the way.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that they find it.
Yeah.
Last I saw, Billy Bob Thornton's mama died, and he's on his way to the funeral.
Yeah. Well, a lot happens after that.
Yeah, and he says, I'm not here mourning. I'm here to make sure she's dead.
Did not like his mother.
No, obviously not. Mm-hmm. And obviously
she had some problems.
Yeah.
And what it was is that if you hadn't been following Landman, they had a child that died at birth, and she just was never the same.
Never the same after. Yeah. Well, understandable.
And Sam Elliott said, that's what it was. Said she was a beautiful soul before. And it's kind of like that time you was preaching and they was asking you to pray for somebody, and the lady in church was asking you to pray for somebody. Remember that?
Oh, no.
And it turned out it was
on a soap opera.
It was on a soap opera.
Yeah. That was actually, she stood up in service and just like asking for prayer for this.
Like it was really real.
And I mean, she's just telling the story, and I'm sitting there thinking, good Lord,
this family,
this one family's experienced all this. I don't believe in generational curses, but this one might be real. And man, it's just like, and then come to find out, somebody leaned over to the pastor a little bit later and said, "That's off a soap opera."
Yeah,
that's not.
That didn't happen. Anyway, Micah, Tulsa is a beautiful town, isn't it? You're at Tulsa University?
I'm at the University of Tulsa. It is a Beautiful school. It is the smallest Division I school in the nation.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So we get all the Division I perks, nice, football program, great sports, lots of events. We can bring in a lot of really cool things, but we're still really small.
So they get beat.
Yeah,
by most teams,
it's a bloodletting a lot of the time, but it's fun. You still get those big college perks, small college feel, big town. Although they say that Tulsa is a small town. People from Tulsa, they'll say, "Oh, Tulsa, it's everybody knows everybody around here," and I'm like,
You
you
never
don't
been to
know
South
anything
Arkansas.
about knowing everybody.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I mean, you spotted somebody you went to high school with just a moment ago.
Just a minute ago, yeah. Graduated high school with her. Went to Walmart earlier and saw my grandma, saw Nanny.
Did you really?
I did. I really. You can't go anywhere without seeing somebody here. I've never seen anybody outside of the law school, like from the law school outside of the law
Anywhere in
school.
Tulsa?
No. No, talking about it's a small town.
You can't say anything about anyone here because it's somebody's cousin that
It's somebody's cousin. Yeah, somebody heard it.
Well, you remember when you were a kid, you'd run into somebody you just knew from, not your buddies, but somebody you just knew from school. You run into them in stores like, hey, it's like someone I know, And that happens all the time when you live in a very small town.
Sure, it does.
That does not happen in a place like Tulsa.
No.
Tulsa's a small town. It's 1 million people.
Yeah, Tulsa Metro is 1 million people.
Yeah.
So,
But it is beautiful.
And one of the prettiest campuses in the country. It's made some charts or whatever.
Yeah.
As prettiest
It
campus.
is a beautiful campus. And again, I say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the University of Tulsa, well, at least the law school, they have it down when it comes to recruitment.
Oh, yeah. That's what you've told me.
From the day she applied, I mean, they were on her back every single day.
Just about. I mean,
phone call,
something,
text, snail mail, email, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook message, something.
they'd have I think I got a letter one time from and it's a canned letter, but it was a letter from the mayor of Tulsa saying, we want you here. We're so happy that you're excited about Tulsa. We hope you stay excited.
Isn't that awesome, though? I mean, if
they got the mayor to do it.
Well, you
and all different kinds of, the deans, all the different deans, different professors, students, all alumna, and would reach out and say, we're so excited that you're excited,
good.
Here's how it was for me. These are my favorite things. You're going to have favorite things too. We can't wait to see you and welcome you. And that really was, it was a way above any other school I applied to, just in how much I felt like they wanted me there. Yeah.
And then let me also say this, the people of Tulsa. So I had some business associates in Tulsa who had become friends, and while she and I were there, we went and saw them. And like the main guy over this is a 7-figure-a-year income guy over this business, he stops us and he's like, hey, my fiance, we're about to get married. She's the former dean, I think, of the law school, and she's still like on the board of regents. If there's anything you need.
Wow.
Really nice people.
Just let us know. And it was like everything from, hey, when are you moving in? We'll send some people over to help. They didn't.
But they would have.
But they would have.
If you'd have called.
Well, we had someone lined up and that fell through. And so let me just say this. I don't think I've ever been closer to heat stroke.
That was a rough day. I moved into my apartment on August 4th.
Oh, yuck.
Mm-hmm.
All that pavement in Tulsa is like 118 degrees, literally.
Wow.
And it was brutal. It was brutal. Upstairs apartment. And
Rocky lives in Tulsa now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen
Tulsa Kings.
Tulsa Kings.
Except that they filmed most of that in Georgia.
Did they really?
Yeah.
The tall old man was there. In
Yeah.
Tulsa.
I mean, they have B footage. They have B-roll that they from Tulsa, but I think they filmed.
You ruined it for me.
I think they filmed almost all of that in like Alpharetta.
You ruined it for me,
I know.
man.
I know. Me too.
Well, it's just like Yellowstone wasn't actually in Montana. Most of it was in Wyoming or something. It wasn't filmed where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So, though, hey, kudos to those areas though that have figured out
Georgia's figured out how
Georgia
to host
especially.
filming people.
Yeah. Louisiana tried, but they tried to do it the Louisiana way, and that was $1 for you, $1 for me. You know?
We'll do it on halves. But my half, you'll figure it out.
My half will be a little bigger. So, hey, you know, every time I invite someone on the podcast, one of the things they'll say is, which, by the way, we have a date for Madison Murphy now.
Yeah.
And he's coming in January. And one of the things they always say is, what kind of questions are you going to ask? And I always say, well, I'm just, nothing hard, very simple. Just tell us the most embarrassing thing you've ever done that no one knows about. and they get that deer in the headlights look. Yeah. Except one guy said that too. He said, great, you first.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought I would share with y'all one thing that I can share about one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done.
Well, all right.
And I made sure it was okay.
I've heard a lot of them.
You didn't hear this one, I promise. So my lovely wife works with a young lady that she and her fiance had bought a new house.
Okay.
And they were having a housewarming. And it just so happens that this young lady is very, very fluent in Spanish. And, you know, I'm always trying to practice my Spanish because if you don't use it, you lose it. Mm-hmm. And so there was this dip she made, and she's like, let me know how that is. It's a new recipe. I've just tried it. And so I tried it, and it's really good. And so I am trying to not just say estaba bien, you know, it was good, but just I'm trying to, you know, use some Spanish.
Use some Spanish.
And I want to tell her, you know, that the flavor really hit my mouth and that it was good. That's not what I said, evidently, in Spanish.
Okay.
Because when I said what I said in Spanish, and I don't remember now what I said, she's like,
totally offended?
We'll just let Casey tell us if that's the case or not. And I'm like, oh, my God, what did I say? She said, you said you're really good with your tongue. Instead of it was good on my mouth and the flavor he really hit, I'm good with my tongue.
Oh, not so much.
Yeah, that I've not been able to look at her the same since. I just can't. I look at her friend. I'm like, hey,
how you doing? What's up?
How's it going? So you know,
you take Spanish. You're kind of.
I studied Spanish for a really long time.
Yeah.
I think 8 years in grade school. They actually ran out of Spanishes to teach me. Mm-hmm. I took AP Spanish literature. Yeah. And they were like, there's nothing after that. Y'all just, that's it.
You've reached the epitome.
And so I took some classes in college as well. And I was really good on my Duolingo. I was doing really, really well. And I fell off a couple months ago. And,
that whole law school thing.
Getting
in the way.
But it is true. It's a use it or lose it thing. Because there will be things, you know, when I'm practicing every day, I'm like, I didn't even realize I could say that. I didn't realize I would understand that. And, you know, now I would embarrass myself. So
if I can, like when I go to a Mexican restaurant, if I can get them to speak real slow, I can get the gist of the, you know, if you're speaking like a first grader, you know, I know enough of the words that I may say that. I may, you know, I'm good with my tongue instead of it tastes good, you know. But yeah, I can, because
I regret that I even told you this now.
One of the ladies there, I said, I don't understand Spanish fast. And so she says, I don't think I can talk slow enough for you, honey. Because I would try to say stuff to her and stuff. Anyway.
I'll tell you someone who's very great. You know, a lot of Spanish people, they're put off when you want to practice your Spanish.
Yeah, they don't
want to do that. But I'll tell you someone who's really good and will help you, and that is Wilson Borofsky. At Larry's Pizza.
Yeah, Wilson.
I'll walk in and I'll say something to him in Spanish, and he'll say something back to me, and I'll understand it, and I'll go to answer him, and he'll help me.
But his native language is Portuguese, though. He's from Brazil.
They speak Spanish in Brazil.
They speak Portuguese in Brazil.
Well, they speak Portuguese. That's like the official language, but plenty of people
Spanish there as well.
Yeah, he also speaks Polish. He also speaks Russian. He speaks like 6 languages.
He's a poor little dumb guy.
He has a lady that works for him who is from the Eastern Bloc somewhere. Former Czechoslovakia, something like that. And he says, I can't speak to her, but I can understand everything she says to me. And she doesn't speak much English, so she's learning. But I think that's cool too, you know. But he would tell me, man, he tells some beautiful stories about churches in Brazil. He's like, there was one church, and he said, you know, the windows were always open, and he said you could hear them sing, and it would just echo down the streets. And he said it was always so beautiful to hear them singing, and he would, and of course Wilson, who's a very, very good singer, you know, he would mimic what he would hear from them, and gosh, it was, you know, very, very talented guy.
He is. He's very talented.
And a good friend. I like Wilson. We've shared with each other a lot over the years.
Okay.
So, hey, our Christmas edition, and I thought what we would do is, I don't know them, so that's why I had to put them down.
Okay.
Let's do the 12 Days of Christmas. Do you know? I mean, obviously,
what the gifts are?
Partridge in a Pear Tree. I know that one.
Okay. I may have to sing it.
Well, yeah, I could sing it. I still wouldn't know.
Two Lords a leaping.
No.
Two something dancing.
No.
Two in some tutus. No.
No.
What?
That would be Two Turtle Doves.
Two turtle doves.
Yeah. Well, any ideas on what 3 is?
If we were going backwards.
Okay, well then let's do that. Let's do, what is 12?
That's one more than 11.
12 is 12 Lords a leaping?
12 is 12 drummers drumming.
Okay. 11 Lords.
11 maids a milking.
11 pipers piping.
11 pipers
Golly.
piping. Well,
Right.
we got maids a milking in there and Lords a leaping.
Yeah, well, Lords a Leaping would be 10. 10 Lords a
Okay.
Leaping.
9 ladies dancing?
Yes, very good.
Okay, I got it from here, I think.
Okay.
Okay,
9
go
ladies
8.
dancing.
8 maids a milking?
Very good.
Yeah.
7 swans a swimming?
Yep.
6 geese a laying?
Yep.
5 gold rings.
Yep.
4 calling birds. 3 French hens. 2 turtle doves.
And a
And a
partridge.
partridge.
And a
And a
pear tree.
pear tree.
Very
That was
good.
very good. We did a really good job.
Thank you for going backwards.
Yeah. I don't know why. I was like you. I thought the 12 was 12 Lords a Leaping.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway. But again, since this is our Christmas edition, I thought I would ask, what is your, and I'm not talking about as an adult, but from your memory, what is the best Christmas you remember? Maybe it was because of gifts. Maybe it was because who was there. And for me, I think it was 1983, which financially in our home was the absolute worst. You were in the oil business in the 80s. You know what 1983 was like. I'm not even sure we had electricity that day on Christmas Day. But all I had asked for was I wanted a red duffel bag,
Okay.
a gym bag, and a bottle of Hawk cologne.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
Well, it smelled like hawks. But see,
Like bird urine?
probably, yeah. But at that time, I was going to a school in Houston called Hambrick Junior High, and we were the Hambrick Hawks.
Okay.
Red and white
So
were our
you wanted
colors.
that.
So I wanted the red duffel bag, and I wanted Hawk cologne.
That's
And-
so cute.
And that's what I got. And that was it. I mean, it was maybe $12 worth of stuff, okay? And one of Daddy's fancies, that's what we would sometimes call his lady of the week or whatever, or the weekend or of the evening, you know. So, but she was saying, like, nowadays you have to have a living room full of presents to impress a kid. And he was like, I don't know whose kid you're talking about. He said, because let me tell you, he said, here's what Sandy asked for, and here's what he got. And it was, and I remember Daddy, it was like one of the worst Christmases. We talked about it later. It was like one of the worst Christmases ever to him because he wasn't able to buy much. And I was like, Daddy, that was like the best Christmas ever because I got exactly what I wanted. And it was just a good thing that what I wanted, I guess, was cheap. But
Yeah.
duffel bag barely made it through the end of the school year. But
You took it every day.
well, yeah, and I carried everything in it.
Yeah.
Not just school books, but like my baseball glove and my cleats.
Yeah.
You know, never knew when a baseball game was going to break out.
Break out at school.
You know, so.
Yeah.
I also carried a pocket knife in there one time, and it got taken by the principal.
And who told him? You bragged about it.
No,
You took it out.
no.
Somebody told him.
Yeah, it was a kid by the name of, it was either Craig or Chris Johnson. They were twins, and I don't remember which one it was, but one of them. You know, I just now thought, a lot of my problems in my school years dealt with twins. Craig and Chris Johnson, I fought both of them when I was a kid. And then Shane and Shannon O'Bannon, I fought both of them. I had to fight them two at the same time, by the way.
You had to punch one and hold the other one off.
I don't remember exactly. I remember I didn't get whipped. Mm-hmm. I didn't lose my first fight until I was in 8th grade. John Light.
He whooped you.
He did. He sure did. Now, he sucker punched me to start with.
But he's taking your coat off?
I had a duffel bag, wasn't the same one, and he's walking in front of me, and he just turns around and punches me right in the face.
In the 8th grade?
Yeah, and I went to throw my bag down, and he pushed me up against the column, and now my right arm was pinned behind me.
Yeah.
So he got in a bunch of good looks before I was able to get in any on him.
So we're doing the worst Christmas?
Best
Christmas.
Best Christmas
you got one?
can remember.
You remember?
I've had several really good ones. I was trying to think of one that was heartwarming for the right reasons of Christmas.
Yeah, none of those at my house.
I didn't come up with any. No, no.
Yeah, we didn't have any of those.
No, there were 2 Christmases, and one was a Christmas of your doing. I think it was my senior year of high school. You and Mom got me a little TV, and the TV had a built-in. This is gonna date me so
CD.
bad. It had a built-in DVD player on the back.
Yeah.
And then you guys got me like a dozen CDs, and I mean not CDs, DVDs, and I think a dozen might be an understatement.
It might be, yeah.
Because I had so many movies, and I mean Disney movies, classics. I think I got The Godfather, maybe Goodfellas. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou was in there.
Yeah.
All of these really good movies that were comforting,
Sure.
and I was going to be able to take those with me to college that next year. That was heartwarming.
Yeah.
I don't know
There
why I
you
was so
go.
hard on myself. And then the other Christmas of note was that Christmas that my Uncle Clint had such a big year.
Yeah.
My Uncle Clint, he had a real big year, and me being a niece and the boys being nephews, we did not expect to sort of be roped in and treated like his children. I mean, that was a Christmas where the living room was chock full
Stuff.
Yeah.
of stuff, and that was a lot of kids, and nobody felt othered. There were stepkids, there were bonus kids, there were nieces and nephews, and had a big old Christmas party that year, and everybody got something. I mean, I still look at those pictures from back then, and of course, everybody who's gone now was there. So my Uncle Buddy was there, my granddaddy was there.
Is that the year that he built the play place, the shed with
It might be.
Yeah, one of the things that he did is, Clint is an amazing man of talent.
Yeah.
And
Just stellar.
yeah, he is my ex-wife's brother.
Yeah, I know Clint.
Well, I know you do. I'm just for our audience. And he spent most of his adult life working on an oil rig. And it's not my story to tell, and I'm not sure I remember it all the way. But basically, he showed up at his rig like out in Hobbs, New Mexico. And he's like the general manager. He's like the head Fred.
Okay.
But he still had a boss. And his boss was evidently talking to him in a way that Clint didn't appreciate. And he's like, look, if there's something you need me to do, man, just talk to me. But you can't come in here just cussing and throwing stuff. And he's like, well, by God, if you don't like it, you can just pack it in and go home. He said, okay.
Okay.
Opened his desk drawer, pulled his keys out, and got in the truck and drove home. 14 hours later, he gets home, and his wife's like, what are you doing? He said, oh, yeah, by
just
the way,
quit my job.
I don't have a job. And she's like, what are you going to do? He said, I don't know. I'm going to sleep on it, and I'll think about it. He got up the next day, and he said, I think I want to build porches and decks. And so Clint being Clint, he made him a list of what all he needed. He went out and bought everything he needed to
All
be
the
able to
tools
build
he needed.
porches and decks. And he does.
And he did.
He did, yeah. And so when our home was destroyed with the snowpocalypse,
Yeah.
and I could not find a local contractor,
Yeah.
I called. I made appointments. One guy actually showed up. one of the multiple contractors I called showed up, and I remember him. He said, "Okay, I'll meet you at 10 o'clock." And so at 10 o'clock, I'm at my house, and I finally, like at 10:45, I call him. And I was like, "Dude, are you coming or not?" You know, he's like, "Man, I'm standing in your driveway." I said, "No, you're not, because I'm standing in my driveway." "You live in Smackover, don't you?" It's like, "No, I'll be right there." Well, about 11:30,
to get here from Smackover,
he showed up, and he showed up at my house. And this we did. He walked around. He walked in every room, looked around. "All right, I'll get you an estimate." He didn't take out a tape measure. He didn't write anything down. He didn't take a picture. I'm like, "Do you want the dimensions? I have the dimensions of every room." He's like, "Yeah, sure, that'd be good." Okay.
Still waiting on
To this moment, I'm still waiting on an estimate.
Yeah.
So finally, I called Clint and I said, "Look, I know this isn't what you do, but I also know I've known Clint since he was a fat little kid, right?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I know your work, and
if you can build furniture like he does, you can
yeah, you can redo a house. And that's the thing. He may draw it out, and it may look rudimentary, like a stick figure drawing. But if you can draw it out, he can build it, and it far beyond what you could even expect. And so he was like, "Okay," and then he did. He's the one who redid the entire inside of my home.
Yeah,
and but he built a workshop with a playhouse on top of it, like an apartment almost on top for the kids to have. And then he bought 4-wheelers for everybody.
4-wheelers, laptops.
Yeah.
I think
win the lottery.
it was a.
Well, between he and his wife, money was never a problem.
Okay.
It was a good year, and that's something that I just really admire about Clint, is that he is a total giver.
He is 100%.
I mean, if he's got it, you've got it.
Yeah.
100%.
And so that was just, I mean, not that we really ever had to want it for anything when I was a kid, but that was just otherworldly, you know. So those were probably my 2 favorite Christmases.
When she was born, Clint used to take her and he'd lay her in the floor by him. Now, at that time, he's maybe 15, 16 years old, 17. And he'd lay her in the floor by him and he'd say, "Your first day of school, we're going to have you a fresh pair of Jordans. We're going to have you these pants and this shirt, and you just tell Uncle Clint and I'll take you to whatever store you want to go to, and your first day of school." And he started that way back when, you know. But he's been like that. And let me tell you how he's like that with the 2.0s. And they are of no relation to him.
Whatsoever.
None whatsoever. But that's her grandmother, Sheila, my mother-in-law, because I got in trouble for calling her my former mother-in-law. She told me, she said, "I'll have you know,
I'll always be you.
I will always be your mother-in-law." She said, "You can have as many mother-in-laws as you want." I was like,
"But
"No,
I'm
good. I'm good, thanks. I got plenty." And all the love in the world, But but Sheila, she's that way. I mean, the 2.0s call her grandma. And they're like, the youngest, His Royal Highness, he's still trying to figure out how she's his grandma, but he doesn't want to get into it too much because he doesn't want that shattered.
He doesn't want to mess it up.
He wants to view her as grandma.
Yeah.
And I think the princess has finally figured it out.
Yeah.
But she doesn't admit it. You know, it's one of those, because Sheila's great, you know, and they want a grandma like that. You know, she's really good. So
One of the twins last week said, "I still can't get Daddy's family straight." Martha goes, "She can't get your family straight." I said, she was very little when they moved back to Louisiana from Oklahoma, and so she can't get straight who is her cousins and who are her uncles and stuff like that.
Well, you're the baby, right?
Yeah, and we had a 2.0 in the 1 points and the 2 points. My oldest brother was a senior in high school when I was born. Okay, so it was hers.
She was graduating college when the princess was born.
It was a hers, mine, and ours thing.
Yes.
So all the other siblings were there when I got there, so they weren't like half nothing to me. They were all, they were mine. And but then I had a sister who was probably the 2.0, and I was the 2.5 maybe, because she's 8 years older than I am. So,
do you have any full siblings?
Yes, one.
One.
Yeah,
Your sister,
my
okay.
sister Patricia is my full sibling, and my two oldest brothers who have passed, and my oldest sister who still she lives in Dallas. But then my father had a son from his previous marriage, and father's name's Ted, and his name was Teddy, and he was like this mystical figure to me because he would come in and out of my life, and I'd remember him when I was little, and everyone was going, "Oh, Teddy's going to be here. Teddy's going to be here." So he would come in, and I would just look at him like he was this something, because I'm 4 maybe when I remember him. But the best Christmas I ever remember is that they were all there. My older siblings were there, and of course they're all married now. And then Teddy comes over. But when my oldest sister, my youngest sister, was in high school, Teddy was killed in an airplane accident.
Oh no!
And delivering. A buddy of his was just going to drive out to a location, fly out to a location, and throw out a piece of equipment. Now, obviously, it wasn't too heavy because he was just going to dump it on the pad where they were drilling, and the plane lost.
Yeah,
it just fell, and so he was killed in an airplane crash. But the last time that they were all together and I got that. It was like that. The Christmas story where the little boy, got a BB gun, and I got a BB gun, and it was the last. So I related to that show when I was an adult and saw that show. That's all I remember is having that air rifle, and it wasn't a BB gun; it was just an air rifle.
yeah.
And so that was it. And we lived in a little shotgun house, and I remember Mother had the record player that folds open, and has a radio on top. And when I was little, they were still tuning into radio shows that were actually dramas on the radio. And she would open that thing up, and she had Christmas albums, by Perry Como, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, and so I was stuck in that era because one of my favorite people, Johnny Mathis, is and he had
the most wonderful time.
Yeah, they so that was the most memorable Christmas that I had. But then I had one other Christmas that I thought was horrible, and over the years it became it just, I don't know, something happened to it, and it turned around, and it became a good memory. Is that when I lived in Oklahoma, I had moved from the town where all my family lived to another town. And I was working in the oil field, and I was on call on Christmas. Well, we lived right on I-40. Most everything's on I-40 in western Oklahoma, and it had snowed, and there was nothing moving. You couldn't go to electricity was out. You couldn't go to a rig if they needed you.
Right.
But I was still on call in case they needed something. I'd have to try to send somebody out there. So I stayed at home all day, and it just snowed Christmas. And then I was able to leave Christmas the next morning and go back to Elk City, and my children were there, and of course a lot of the family was still there, and I thought it was sad, but it wasn't. It was just a very meaningful Christmas again.
Probably one of the saddest holidays I ever had was the Thanksgiving after I graduated high school. As I mentioned, college wasn't really an option, so I went to technical school and trade school, and so I'm in Houston, and I worked at a Pennzoil oil change place. I stood in a pit and changed oil all day, and then went to class at night. And we were going to have to work the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving Day, I am by myself.
You're the guy?
For the first time in my entire life, I spent Thanksgiving alone. And it was the first Gulf War was going on.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so I'm watching like a football game, and they're showing these soldiers over in Iraq, and I'm sitting there feeling sorry for myself, and they show that, and then I feel bad about feeling sorry for myself because those guys who are my age, are sitting over there in Iraq or in Kuwait actually, and while I'm, fat, dumb, and happy in Houston.
Yeah.
But I was by myself, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, by yourself is hard, and that's what it was so hard. I was by myself. And if the phone rang and they'd have had a call to go work, I'd have been all right. Anyway,
let's take a quick break. Okay. When we come back, we're going to talk about the top Christmas movies of all time.
Okay.
All right. We'll do that right after this on Off the Back Porch.
Anyone can be so curious. Get ready to see the world more curiously because Blippi is coming to your hometown. The Be Like Blippi Tour. Join Blippi and Micah live on stage for a one-of-a-kind interactive adventure that inspires kids to move like, play like, and explore just like Blippi. Saturday, April 11th, the First Financial Music Hall in El Dorado. Tickets are on sale now at eldomad.com. Break out your orange Blippi glasses for an unforgettable experience that encourages kids to be like Blippi.
Rated the #1 course in Arkansas by Golf Week, Mystic Creek is truly a hidden gem, complemented by a modern clubhouse, complete with panoramic views. It also features a fully stocked pro shop and Mystic Grill, serving contemporary American cuisine and Southern classics. Mystic Creek promises an unforgettable experience.
Country Village Sporting Goods has a little bit of everything you need to get you to the water, the woods, or to the camp. Coming soon, a new shipment of creek boats. Every year we sell out fast. Get yours ordered today. It seems like we're always unboxing the latest and greatest in lures and tackle. Come check out new colors, new styles, and the latest technology making rods lighter and reels easier to cast. Cruise through our vast selection of camo clothing, coveralls, overalls, boots, outerwear, and more. All at Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado.
With a name you trust, you can count on us. Glen Mechanical, plumbing, heating, and air.
For over 6 decades, Glen Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family-owned and operated since 1956. Glen Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlenMechanical.com.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer and our special guest this week, Micah Sanford. Hello, Micah.
Hello.
You know, Mike is one of, and I have a child like that also, that somewhere along the way, and you kind of knew it early, and you have someone in the 2.0s too that's going to do this, they kind of outgrow the family.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
Yeah.
And Micah, you know, she spread her wings and flew.
Yeah.
And took her back to Tulsa, and, you know, we're proud. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
For what you've accomplished and
I mean,
so far.
You've known her since she was like in middle school.
Yeah.
You're a little tiny baby.
Well, the boys that were in diapers.
We're in diapers when you met them. That's right.
Yeah, when I was this tall. You mean?
Hey, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but you know, there's a day for everything. You know, anything you can pick, there's a day of that. And guess what yesterday was?
What's that?
Short People Day.
Me.
We could have related. I mean, if you're under 5'10", you're a short person. And I was 5'10" at the best of I have ever been. In 69, I grant you I'm not 5'10" anymore.
Yeah. I remember my freshman year in high school, they listed me as 5'9".
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever touched 5'9".
Yeah.
I may have been 5'8".
Yeah.
But I was never 5'9".
Never 5'9"?
No, I was never 5'9".
Well, you know.
My dad was 5'10" when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it was funny. By the time he passed away, we were the same height.
Really? Mm-hmm. He shrunk down. Yeah, your back settles and, you know, get older and you stoop a little bit. Hey, if you have back problems, you're going to bend over.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I miss your dad. I know you do.
Man.
I do. I know you do.
And you know, I mean, he's been gone 4 years now. Mm-hmm. And I still pick up my phone to call him. I still pick up my phone to text him.
That's going to last a while, bro.
Is it?
My dad died when I was 30, and I'm 69 now, and I still think about him.
Man would give just about anything to be able to talk to him.
Again.
You know?
Yeah. Someday.
Now, you told me that you'll have dreams with your dad in it, but he never says anything.
He doesn't speak.
Yeah.
Weirdest thing, and I dreamt about him once this week. He just doesn't. Ted was a person that didn't speak much.
Right.
And
that was like my grandfather.
I never heard him say a curse word. Maybe the shit word. You know, if he was real exasperated.
That was my grandfather too.
He wouldn't talk. He would not talk bad about anybody. Wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't do it. And so he was a very happy person, a very outward person, but didn't speak a lot. So, you know, when he spoke, it meant something.
Yeah.
But
that was B.A. He was like that. My grandfather, he didn't say a lot. When he did, it was either really important or he was a cut up.
Ted was a cut up too. Yeah,
he would joke a lot, and he had this one toe that was mangled
Yeah.
looking, when I was a kid.
It's the damnedest thing we remember from
Exactly.
our childhood.
But I remember when I was a kid, I asked him, I said, Papa, what happened to your toe? He said, well,
Tolio.
he said, that would have been a good one. He said, well, up there in East Texas where I grew up, we were living in Houston at the time. And he was talking about in Center, Texas, where his home place.
Yeah.
Up there in East Texas where I grew up. Yeah, he said, when I was a kid, he said, we didn't have shoes. He said, so I'm walking down this trail, and he said, an armadillo jumps out and stuck his claw underneath that toenail. And I said,
ripped it?
I said, what did you do? He said, I jumped. He said, Duke went flying out both sides of my overalls. Do you know I believed that until I was like a teenager? I really believed.
He had you going.
Yeah. Because Papa wouldn't lie.
Yeah,
he was deacon in the church.
Deacon of the by God church up there. Well, Ted, if he'd walk up to you, if he got real emotional, he'd walk up and give you a side hug and pull you up and say, I love you, boy. And that was was deep emotion for
Breland,
Ted.
he was, I think I was in my late 20s. The first time I remember B.A. ever telling me he loved me. Well, and it's only because the pastor said, get up and look at the person next to you and tell them you love them. The preacher said so let me just
I guess I do then. So, but Ted, both my parents had previous marriages. And so when I was, struggling with my first marriage, I thought I'd seek counsel from my father.
Yeah.
And see what things were that made him, and I couldn't talk to Mother about it, didn't want to. And I said, well, Dad, what? And her name was LaRuth, his first one. I said, so what happened between you and LaRuth, Dad? I said, how did that end? He said, well, Troy, she was always building ice castles in July. I said, okay. I said, what does that mean?
Yeah, not a lot of help there.
Yeah, I said, not a lot of help. He said, well, she's always trying to make something out of something that ain't there. I said, okay. I said, no help.
Yeah.
And so, he knew I was struggling, but he wasn't going to say stay or go. He wasn't going to, because my oldest brother said, you need to stay. And then he come back in about 6 months. He says, I told you wrong. You probably need to go. I said, well, thanks. So anyway.
It's funny, when you have marital issues and you think of people that you could go to.
Yeah.
And then I got some unsolicited advice
one
one time.
You'll get all that.
From a family member, and I just remember saying, look, I love you, but I'm not seeking marital advice from someone who's on their fifth marriage.
Yeah, not so much.
I'm just not.
I got a lot of experience.
Obviously. So.
Well, you want to do it once, and that's what, that's the Lord's plan, but things don't always work out that way.
So, hey, top Christmas movies of all time, and this is according to Rotten Tomatoes. Which that's their whole thing is they score movies.
So you want us to just guess?
Yeah, I didn't bring a pen so I could mark them off, but it's the top 15 Christmas movies of all time.
You want me to go get a pen?
No, we're good. I mean, we'll just...
So White Christmas, is that in there? With Bing Crosby and all that?
No, it is not.
Is Home Alone in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Home Alone is number 15.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know, 15 more, 14 more.
Christmas Story?
Christmas Story is number 6.
Okay.
And so
that's, you shoot your eye out.
Shoot your eye out, yeah. And Fragile.
Yeah, Fragile. It's Italian.
It's Italian.
Yeah.
So the one where he's Grinch. He's not.
Yeah, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah. No. Well, that ain't the one I'm thinking about. But the old time movie where. Okay. Just keep going.
Christmas Carol?
A Christmas Carol?
A Christmas Carol?
Yeah, A Christmas Carol is number 14.
I said Scrooge.
Yeah.
A Christmas Carol made number 14.
Yeah, 69. You just.
Is that, which version is that? Does it say?
Yeah, it was the 1960, 61 version.
Because Jim Carrey did an animated one where he was the voice of the Scrooge.
Yeah.
And I actually, for some reason, I saw that in IMAX theaters. I don't know why.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But I did.
IMAX are cool.
That was a date that didn't go well.
I think it was a youth group trip.
Really?
I think so. I think that was like our fun thing that we got to do. I mean, aside from worshiping the Lord.
Yeah.
The fun thing we got to do besides that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which does not compare to the time y'all went whitewater rafting.
That's true. That was
I mean, she goes on a youth trip one time, and they went whitewater rafting.
We did over there at the Olympic Park in Georgia. Whenever they was that the '96 Olympics.
Gosh, you been around that long?
I have
Yeah, it would have been '96. Would have
barely.
been the Olympics in Georgia.
You didn't go in '96, but
No.
it was the one that was there in '96.
It was there in '96. That was fun.
I bet.
That was a good time. Yeah.
So the Fragile Christmas Story, and then full-length motion pictures. It can't be any little cartoons.
Oh, no, it can be cartoons.
like Linus in them, and the Snoopy.
None of the Charlie Brown ones.
Browns maybe?
They were on the list, but they were past number 15.
Okay.
I just took the top 15.
Rudolph,
Rudolph did make the list at number 7.
Frosty the Snowman,
Frosty the Snowman was like number 21.
Robbed.
Gosh, we got a lot that we haven't named.
Okay.
Dirty Santa.
Believe it or not, it was on because it was a top 100 list, and it did make the list, but it nowhere near.
So, Home Improvement guy.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
The
When he was
Santa Claus?
The Santa Claus, it did make the list. Where is it?
No, it's not 15 then.
No, it did. It was on the list, but it was not in the top 15.
So we're way off,
I'm
Mike.
struggling.
I am too.
Okay, let me give you number 13. So we have Home Alone is number 15.
Okay.
14 is A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Number 13, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation,
Okay.
which to me was the worst of those movies.
Yeah, that wasn't the best one at all.
But it's a
A big
Christmas one.
bulging man in a blue suit.
Now that is the one, however, with Cousin Eddie.
Yeah,
And
It says
the RV.
The RV,
Yeah.
because it had it borrowed. It was he gave them the house and took the RV.
Number 12, Polar Express.
Oh, see,
Okay.
Tom Hanks.
I didn't like that one.
You didn't like it? I thought it was okay. Animated one,
We're good, thank you.
Number 11.
Yeah.
I don't think of it as a Christmas movie, but obviously it is, and that is Trading Places. Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Billy Ray Valentine, Karate Man.
You ever made it with
Karate Man bruise on the inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a Christmas movie.
Was it happening
It's
at
been
Christmas?
so long since I've seen it. I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
It was happening at Christmas.
Lewis
'cause
Winthrop III,
Yeah.
who is Dan Aykroyd's
Dan Aykroyd.
character, when he goes and breaks back into the office, he's dressed as Santa.
Yeah, that's right. And he's stealing the stuff and putting it in.
putting the food in his
Yeah.
pockets and all that. Yeah. Okay, number 10, Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
I thought of that one earlier and just
Now, you talked earlier about dramas on the radio. When I was a kid, my parents didn't, but my grandparents, they would listen to dramas on the radio. And I always loved it Christmas because we got to hear Miracle on 34th Street and some others, the radio versions of them. And I fell in love with radio real early as a kid anyway. And it was just so neat to listen to those dramas. And of course, there were weekly serials they listened to. Was one of them called The Shadow?
Yeah.
Who the Shadow knows,
The
or something
Shadow
like
Knows.
that. And so my very first experience with anything scary would have been
Dark Shadows.
the Woman in the Long Black Veil or whatever was a radio serial.
Okay.
And I listened to it as a kid.
I
And
don't
it
remember
scared
any of those.
the daylights out of me.
Did it?
Yeah. So number 10, Miracle on 34th Street. Number 9, the best Christmas pageant ever. The Hardeman kids, they're little badass kids, and you've never seen that?
never in my life.
So they end up take these little hellion children. They lie, they steal, they're bad kids. And they end up in the Christmas pageant, and their little sister is playing Mary.
Okay.
And in the whole thing, they actually, it changes them, when they learn the real meaning of Christmas. And
I guess I didn't see that.
And of course, that's the play that the South Arkansas Arts Center put on this year.
Oh,
The best Christmas pageant ever. Number 8, Die Hard. Which I say is, I 100% agree it's a Christmas movie.
Okay.
There are people who's like, no. I'm like, look,
It was out at Christmas.
it was a Christmas movie, Yippee-ki-yay. What is it you said last night? Can you do your Alan Rickman?
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. It's kind of got like a what is that? The little Martian.
Yeah, Marvin the Martian.
Marvin. It's kind of got a Marvin the Martian.
X24 modulator.
Yeah, just bring it down, make that Harry Potter, and that's Alan Rickman.
That's Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
By the way, who died the day that the princess was born.
Oh.
So we're pretty sure that she's reincarnated.
Sad
The
day.
princess
Yeah.
is Rickman.
Sad day. Okay.
It was a very happy day.
I'll let you explain that to her. She idolizes you, by the way. I mean,
Well, sure.
there
She's
is no one cooler to her.
She is
and
my
to-
Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
There's
is-
no one cooler
yeah.
to her and to His Royal Highness than Micah.
Sure.
I mean, yesterday they were like bouncing. Literally, at one point, the boy child is bouncing on the couch. I'm like, stop jumping on my couch. And he's like, when's Micah going to be here?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
and
they're
then from the
excited.
moment she got there, he was practically in her lap.
Yeah.
The entire
Yeah.
night. Let's see. So number 8, Die Hard. Number 7, Rudolph. We talked about. Number 6, A Christmas Story. Fragile. Number 5, Elf.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think about Elf.
I didn't either.
I love Elf.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Great
and
cast.
And I can see it at number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, great cast. Number 4, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version.
Yeah.
Number 3, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Yep.
Well,
Which is definitely better than number 1, than the first one.
I agree that's one of the very few sequels that's better than the first.
It and Godfather 2 are
And
like
Shrek.
Yeah, that's
Shrek
right.
2.
Shrek
Yeah.
2, yeah. Number 2, It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
Yeah, you know,
Okay. That's fine.
you're not a Gregory Peck fan,
I
or
just, I guess it's just so quintessentially Christmas, you know.
Yes, it definitely. Well,
just-
I mean, it just happens to be the top Christmas movies of all
Right,
time.
right. Yeah, I know. It's just, it's like putting a hat on a hat to me, you know? It's just, everything else Christmas is
Every
fine.
time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. You know, yeah. But I remember I was probably a teenager the first time I ever saw that.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where's this movie been?" Obviously, it's been out for a long time. It was
Yeah.
in black and white.
yeah.
But I fell in love with that movie, and for years that was my favorite Christmas movie.
And they play it every Christmas still.
Yes. And then number 1, and I promise you, I did not realize this was a Christmas movie, nor do I think I've ever even seen it. Little Women.
What?
Louisa May Alcott's book,
Well, I know.
You know,
I know the movie and the book, but
Little Women. I not a clue that it was a Christmas movie.
I don't like whoever did that.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't like them. Don't use them anymore.
Well, sorry, they're kind of the standard.
The epitome.
They're kind of the standard for movies. Then there were some on the list that I was like, what? That, you know.
Yeah.
So there's one called Tangerine.
Tangerine.
Yeah. So I looked up Tangerine. Here's what it says. After hearing that her boyfriend/pimp cheated on her while she was in jail, a transgendered sex worker and her best friend set out to find him and teach him and his new lover the real meaning of Christmas.
And that made the list.
Yes.
Is that on
Just-
Tubi?
It's on Fandango.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, right. It sounds like a Tubi movie.
Okay. Okay.
Then there's another one called Better Watch Out.
Okay.
Ashley travels to the suburban home of the Lerners to babysit their 12-year-old son Luke at Christmas time. She must soon defend herself and the young boy when unwelcome intruders announce their arrival. Better watch out.
Okay.
And then here were a couple more. We talked about the Santa Claus, Tim Allen.
yeah.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, I
I
did
thought it was
too.
great. A Christmas Story Christmas. It's the sequel to A Christmas Story.
Okay.
And I may have seen that.
I don't think I've seen that. No.
I may have. But Ralphie is now an adult.
Okay.
In that. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's fine. It's good.
Don't mean I want to watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right. So, anonymous inbox. So we get letters, and I say letters. We get people send
Text.
us stuff. People
Not
send us
text,
stuff.
messages.
And, most of the time they're making fun of me or you, and
Or both of us.
Or both of us. And I do remember one in particular. A guy wrote, and he's like, Sandy and Boomer, one of you could not show up and no one would notice. And let me just tell you, I did this show 2 weeks without him. I noticed.
Yeah.
I certainly noticed. Inbox. My girlfriend has this habit of reading my texts over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm texting a friend, answering a work message, whatever, she just leans over and watches. When I brought it up once, she laughed and said, I'm not snooping, I'm just curious. Mm-hmm. I don't have anything to hide, but it still feels like my personal space is being invaded every time she does it. I don't know if she realizes how often it happens, but it's becoming a thing I'm noticing more and more constantly. I really like her, and I don't want to make this a bigger deal than it is, but something about it feels off. My question is it harmless curiosity, or is it pointing toward a bigger trust or boundary issue? Is this a red flag, or am I overreacting?
Red flag.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
She's cheating.
You think so?
She's worried about you cheating.
Ooh.
Daddy always said
You
the
clocked that.
guilty dog barks the loudest.
And just like it, if I accuse you or criticize something in you, it's usually something I don't like in myself that I see in you that I want to.
When I was a kid, and I know I've told this before, but we're getting new audience every week, evidently, because I heard about it all weekend. When I was a kid, we had this evangelist came in to do a revival. And one night after church, we're headed home, and I said, Daddy, I said, tonight he was preaching about David and Goliath, whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. But, and I was a kid, maybe 8, 9 years old. I said, but every sermon so far, he's ended up talking about pornography. And Daddy said, Son, he said, I'm going to tell you something. He said, most of the time this is true. Not 100% of the time, most of the time this is true. When you have a preacher who preaches about the same thing, sermon after sermon after sermon, that's his issue.
If it leads back to the same thing.
He's preaching about it to you, but it's really his issue. Mm-hmm. He said, if I had to bet, that guy has an issue, a problem with pornography. And I've watched that all my life, and man, if he wasn't right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is right.
I mean.
You can look at it in politics. You can look at it in family dynamics. It's just a fact of life. It's the psychology of the human condition.
So what say you? I mean, from a female perspective, she reads his texts over his shoulder.
It's a red flag.
That's what I think.
It's a red flag. I mean, and that's crossing, across gender lines. If it was a man looking over a shoulder, it'd be the same. What are you looking at? What could possibly be so important to you
that you need to know?
That you need to be looking over my shoulder, breathing down my neck, to watch me text my family group chat. Please get lost. I couldn't handle that. If it was me, I couldn't do that.
You don't handle clingy, do you?
I just don't handle jealousy, really.
Okay.
That, who are you talking to?
Oh, that. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Am I missing out on something? Are you talking to other people?
Just chill.
I barely have enough time to talk to you. Please, calmly.
How am I going to add somebody to this?
Why would I do that? No, I think, looking over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Maybe it is an innocuous thing, maybe, but.
What'd she say?
I think you still got to establish something, say something, this makes me uncomfortable. This isn't, I don't like this. Please, let's change this.
Let's talk about this. Why do you feel a need to?
Why?
Yeah. What's going on? Just talk to me. Yeah.
There's not a soul in the house who doesn't know my code to get in my phone.
Yeah.
And the only reason I even have a lock on it is so it doesn't open while it's in my pocket.
Mm-hmm. And call somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm famous for hanging up, not getting out of it, and calling somebody.
I think the last person I accidentally dialed was you. I think I picked up the phone and I was like, "Hey,
what do you want?"
She said, "Did you call me or did I call you?" So I always answer the phone the same way with her. What do you want?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
That's how he does. He does me so bad."
Yeah.
No, I normally answer with, "Hey, kiddo."
Hey, kiddo.
So that came into our inbox?
Yeah.
What are we, Dear Abby now?
We get a lot of these.
Do we really?
They want our opinion.
No.
Well, that's their fault.
Not that guy. Not that one guy. He didn't want our opinion. He said he'd rather watch Meerkat Manor, I believe.
Yeah. Well, and then there was that one person who said, Watching you two is like listening to two old people talk about their glory days of high school football.
Yeah.
Please make it stop.
Yeah, because we
reminisce.
We do
It's what old
reminisce.
people do.
Well, you're not old. You're middle.
Yeah.
If you're going to be 100.
I've had some recent medical procedures that say otherwise. I'm just saying.
You better come over here and hug me. Yeah.
Yeah. So
someone actually sent
Yes,
that in.
yes.
Well, read another one. You got some more?
yeah, I've got some more. We'll do that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
That one person on your list that is nearly impossible to buy for. Fret no more. Davis Farms Country Market. Maybe they're a sports fan in your life. Perhaps you're looking for client or employee gifts. And gift baskets made up of items grown, made, or manufactured locally, regionally, and in the state. I don't know anyone who would be disappointed with a gift from Davis Farms Country Market. Call 870-639-1323.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
Serving South Arkansas for 25 years, and all the while expanding and growing throughout the state, ProMed Ambulance is proving their motto of world-class care and hometown values. For example, their new mobile integrated healthcare communications center. This state-of-the-art facility allows communication specialists to work directly with local 911 call centers to ensure the closest medical team is always dispatched to any emergency. World-class care and hometown values. For more information and career opportunities, go to ProMedAmbulance.com.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer and our special guest, Micah Sanford. Thank you, Micah, for being with us, a willing victim this week.
Putting a reputation on the line.
Yeah. Thankfully, she doesn't live here anymore, so she doesn't have to worry too much.
Well, this is kind of the hallmark. This is the Hallmark movie. She's going to come home and save the family business.
Yes. The
Not.
Yeah, now if only
the
there
apple
were
orchard.
a Christmas tree farmer
Yeah.
or something.
The cookie
for
shop.
me to fall in love with. And
It was the ranch yesterday.
Oh.
I saw, a Christmas story, and Martha said, "Oh, I've heard this one." I said, "Yeah, it's going to be the same story."
Yeah.
She came back from New York, saved the ranch.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
last week I was telling you about the Munchkin used to watch every movie she watched was exactly the same. It was Super Dance Ninja Girl.
Yeah.
Moved to a new school.
Yeah.
Chastised. Became the she didn't want anyone to know she danced, but yet she's dancing in the middle of the gym floor, and no one's supposed to know. And and she does Super Dance Ninja moves, and they go to the Super Dance Ninja World Finals, and the other team's coached by her dad, and every one of those movies she watched, you remember those? They were all the same. I did tell her one time, I said, "Baby, you want to watch a good movie about dance?" And she's like, "Yeah." So I put on Dirty Dancing, and the very first thing she's watching, and she's like, "When is this? Like the 50s?" Do you remember
80s?
Do you remember the first line of Dirty Dancing?
it was 1963.
It was 1963. It was before Kennedy was shot.
Dirty Dancing was?
That's the first line.
Huh.
It was 1963.
It was 1963, and it was before Kennedy was shot. And I was like, "It was 1963." She said, "I knew it was sometime back then." And she's like, "But it's in color." I'm like, "The movie was made in the 80s, baby."
It was a period piece.
Which, by the way, do you realize that if you were making a Dirty Dancing style movie today, go back 25 years, because that's what happened. 1988 to 1963 is 25 years. Yeah, we'd be making a movie about the year 2000. It was 2000. It was before the fiasco between Bush and Gore.
Oh, man, yeah.
It was before 9/11.
It was when we thought all the computers were going to crash.
Yes, of course. And boats were going to stop floating.
Yeah.
Yeah, still don't.
Yeah, well, that was
guy.
the Democrats that thought that.
No, it was. I don't think it was just this guy, but
I'm going to say Democrats.
Okay. All right, you asked for more of them, Boomer.
Okay,
I do have
let me hear
another.
another.
I do have another anonymous inbox. My friend is planning to propose to his girlfriend on Christmas Day.
Okay.
surrounded by her family. But he's also planning to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and count the engagement ring as her Christmas present.
Big mistake.
He has no other gifts for her. I tried to tell him that an engagement ring isn't the same as a present because it's a mutual step forward for both of them and not something that is wrapped and put under the tree. He doesn't see it that way. Says the price of the ring justifies doubling as a Christmas present. How would you convince my friend that he also needs to get her a Christmas gift?
How would I convince him?
Yeah.
Well, if he's got his headset, you can't convince him. But I tell him, say, look, man, what if you were born on Christmas? Would you like it that your birthday present was also your Christmas present? Would you like that? And he'd say, no, I want a birthday.
You know what's crazy is I thought about you earlier because you are a birthday and Christmas baby.
I hate that. Hate that.
I have a friend who I'm in law school with. His birthday is today. He is a twin.
Oh,
Imagine being a twin born just before Christmas. Can you imagine the
nothing
birthday
is yours.
and it's for your brother.
Yeah.
Like just half it and half it and
Half
half
and
it.
Yeah, you got to, not only is this your birthday and your Christmas present, but you have to share it with someone else.
Yeah, you got to.
Hopefully that wasn't the case for him. I don't know how it was growing
that's
up.
terrible.
But
And you know when a twin says it comes in is crying and tattling on their sibling, and they said they're not sharing. You know what that means?
They
That
won't
means
give it to me.
She has it and I want it.
Yeah.
You come this way, hon. Come on.
You're not bothering
You know,
us.
it won't be all right.
Nobody watches us anyway. So it's
she
not-
didn't want to get in the, she didn't want to get in the picture.
You know, I'll say, first of all, that having a birthday so close to Christmas sucks.
Yeah.
It does. Because none of my other siblings ever got a birthday and Christmas present. When I was married to Micah's mom, our first Christmas together, she's like, what do you want for your birthday? I said, I don't care. As long as it's not the same thing I get for Christmas. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was telling her, she's like, that's horrible. And I was like, that's my entire life. My entire life. It's your birthday and your Christmas present. And I can remember a number of times not opening anything on Christmas Day because I got it for my birthday.
And what is your date?
December 13th.
13th. And the twins are the 5th. So it's far enough away for them to, that they're separated.
Yeah. I have a sister who was born in May. I don't ever remember her having.
Yeah.
Of course, she got anything she wanted, but you know.
Well, I got a horse one year for my birthday.
Okay.
And they said that was going to be Christmas and
But your birthday's in March.
April.
But
they said that was going to be Christmas and birthday because it was that much money.
Oh.
And it was $200. But this was in the 60s.
Yeah, I was going to say that was.
You know, a car was $700.
Yeah.
One of those Datsuns.
I saw a TV commercial from the 70s. It was from 78. And they were selling a 77 Buick LeSabre at this car dealership in their used cars for like $17.99.
Yeah, less than $1,800.
Yeah, less than $1,800. A 1-year-old Buick LeSabre. And truth of the matter is, that car could probably still be running on the road today.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, don't run into it either.
Yeah.
Because you'd crunch. It'd be like a soda can crunching any car that it would hit today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
they were. You know what? And they were dangerous. We'll get off on the subject. The cars were dangerous from the 50s and the 60s, Micah, because the dashboards were made of metal, and most of them were styled so they would look cool with a point. And there were no seat belts. Seat belts came out, and they were retrofitted at first, and then they
when they first started, they were just lap belts.
Yeah, they were just a lap
so
belt.
you would do this,
Yeah.
even if you had a seatbelt on.
Yeah, there was a long time it was none of this, and people just rolled them up and shoved them down in the seat. Nobody used them. In fact, I remember being a toddler and standing in the front seat next to mama or daddy, and they would, if they had to stop, they'd just hold you. Well, daddy jammed on the brakes one time, and I'm already like not sitting back in my seat on the passenger side, and I did like that, boy, and I stuck my teeth through I cussed him. No, I didn't. I cried.
When I was
had to go get stitches.
I remember when I was little, and this was before my brother was born. I remember laying my head in Daddy's lap while he's driving, and those little knobs on the back of the steering wheel that
go right
as Daddy would turn,
And they were the outside. What I was getting to is the outside. You could jump, you could run and run into it, and they were such thick metal that you wouldn't bend it. I mean, you could kick the side of my truck right now and dent it in. You could
do $2,700 worth of damage.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. But it was.
Plus, you got that 3-stage pearl.
Yeah, I do. you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, it was just a different time, and those cars were dangerous.
Yes.
Now you could survive them. You could raise a family in the back seat.
Yeah.
Now, because there was room on the dash of the back seat for little children to lay while you're traveling.
I did that.
While you're traveling, and that's where, because my sister and I didn't share very well, so I would get up there. So, a lot of different things back there. Where were we? Christmas gifts.
My grandparents on my mother's side, they were a Dodge family.
Uh-huh.
And my grandfather was always buying, and when he'd buy something new, it was always a Plymouth or a Chrysler or a Dodge. And I remember my grandmother had this Plymouth land yacht.
Mm-hmm.
And one time she took the grandkids to Austin. And I remember sleeping on that back deck. I was the oldest grandchild. There probably wasn't about 3 or 4 of us at the time because I was still little. But I slept on that back thing the entire time on the way to Austin. And which from Houston to Austin, probably wasn't like 2.5 hours.
Sure.
But I slept there.
Yeah.
But that's where we used to put the kid.
Yeah.
So, so he wants to give his girlfriend an engagement ring on Christmas Day and wants that to count.
Marriage is not going to last. Marriage will not last. She'll have a bad taste in her mouth for Christmas the rest of her life. It's not going to last.
My question is, if he proposed any other time of the year, would it count as a Christmas present?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Well, he's starting the marriage off as a cheapskate. So,
yeah.
Warning to her.
Yeah, warning to you, lady, whomever you are.
Yeah.
The person who wrote this in said, "It's my friend." I hope it's not the person who wrote this in.
Yeah. I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm asking for a friend. I mentioned this earlier to someone else, and they were like, "Yeah, but if it's a gift, you can never ask for it back." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Well, let's just say they get engaged, but they don't get married.
Mm-hmm.
He can get the ring back. And I'm like, I don't think I've never been that way. Mm-hmm. If you get, to me, once you purchase that engagement ring, it's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Whether you get married or not, it belongs to them.
There is a...
That's a fine line right there.
There is a volume of case law.
Really?
Regarding our engagement rings gifts. Are they conditional gifts? Is it conditional on getting married? And whose is it if they don't get married?
God knows I've spent enough on engagement rings over the years.
I've seen mediations.
Dr. Dump. That's what they called me. Dr. Dump.
Yeah, I've seen mediations where they have to divide
see me break up with
those.
somebody? Let me buy them an engagement ring.
Where they what?
Where that was part of the settlement was who gets the wedding ring, who gets the engagement ring.
Yeah.
Which when you're balancing, what do we have, what do we
court
owe,
of equity,
and
assets.
how do we divide it? Yeah, I guess I've also seen them inventory the amount of toilet paper in a house.
Oof.
Going through a divorce settlement, so
bitter. A lot of bitterness
sometimes,
there.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, at my house, you could definitely the amount of toilet paper in my house is an asset. That's for sure.
Because
we
you get a
buy
lot
it
of
a
people.
pallet at a time.
Yeah.
Truck
pulls up.
Yeah.
Air brakes.
Let's down that big hydro lift.
Tommy tip. That Tommy lift.
Yeah.
Comes out with one of those pallet jacks.
We look like a Mexican drag line out there tossing to the next kid, put it in the house.
Man.
Dad, there's no more room in the closet. Keep going. Stack it somewhere. Stack it somewhere.
Put it in your room.
So my advice would be your friend can do anything, but don't make that her Christmas gift.
Don't make that a Christmas gift.
I mean, I realize...
I don't know how you get him to understand that.
I realize that it's a hefty price, so you don't have to go all out. You don't have to buy her something, several $100s. I mean, but...
Yeah, that's the
even
thing.
a little stocking with just some...
Oh, I thought you meant for the ring, several $100s.
No, I'm saying
for
a
the Christmas gift, yeah.
Just anything.
Something else.
Nice a gift card to where she goes. Get a Sephora gift card. Get a Target gift card. Starbucks.
Get her
anything.
nails did.
Yeah. A gift
Get
basket.
her nails done.
And her
Look
If you
good
want
with
to
that new
marry her
ring.
so bad, yeah. There we go. We
Yeah.
just solved.
Yeah.
Just solved that guy's problems.
Hope he's listening. Watching.
This, I actually know who this came from, and I'm not going to say, but
Sure, let me read it.
a moderately famous man, I think what they meant to say was locally, in his 40s, who is clearly married, slid into my DMs saying he wants to, quote, get to know me. This guy has a wife and kids all over his profile. I'm only 21 and completely not interested. I feel awful for his wife. I think she deserves to know. But I'm also hesitant to get involved in someone else's relationship drama. Should I block him? Send a message to his wife? Am I playing with fire by getting involved at all? How would you handle this?
Yes. Yes.
You
What?
blast him.
You blast him, you block him, you do it all. You play with fire. You do it. If that's what you want to do. I mean, you're asking about it, so perhaps.
My only thing is let's make sure it is who we think it is. You know, make sure that the message you got is really from him. Because Catfish is a TV show for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
before-
but I mean.
And they said moderately famous. It doesn't mean locally.
Yeah.
I don't know what moderately famous means to them.
Okay,
To
yeah.
this person.
Yeah.
I would block the guy and not have, let him know I'm not interested in anything, but I would advise her just to let it go at that.
I have a friend who she was getting some unwanted attention from some married guys, and she asked me, "What am I supposed to do?" And I said, "Maybe send him a message back and say, look, I got screenshots of everything you've sent me. One more message from you, even a reply to this message, will trigger me sending all this to your wife."
Okay.
And she did, and it's been silence ever since.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
that was, that was my advice to her.
So you didn't reply back to her then?
No, he did not.
I mean, it wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
Okay.
No. It was a friend of mine who had these unwanted messages.
I got you. No, I
flowing
know
in.
what you meant. I'm just trying to turn it around. on
Yeah, I appreciate you, Boomer. Nothing like my real friends, right?
you. Kick you when you're down.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I'd want to stay out of it.
That's me.
That's why I tell him, listen, don't contact me anymore. And block him on social media, and then let it go. I don't want to be involved in that, because now it's going to be. If you tell his wife,
You're still the home wrecker.
you're
even
still
though-
the home wrecker, and he's
even
gonna
though
say-
you did
he's-
nothing wrong.
then he's going to paint you as a horrible person.
Yes.
To say that she was doing this to me and I was doing it, and so she's going to believe her husband, and they're both going to hate you.
She has no choice. Most of the time, she has no choice but to believe her husband, whether
Yeah.
she really does or not.
Yeah.
And just
If you want to stay
trying
there.
to save face.
Yeah.
And I personally I don't want to get involved. I'd just be like, no thanks.
Things turn things
No
turn
thanks.
No thanks.
Things turned dirty before social media, actually, when we had three-way calling. As soon as you got three-way calling, kids figured out how to be mean to other people.
Yeah, they'd get
and
their friend on the line and then
hang
call
on,
somebody
and
else.
call somebody else and get them to
And
talk
then
about
talk
that.
about that friend.
Yeah. So back in the day, you couldn't do that, and now, like you said, you can get. It may be anonymous. I mean, it may not be a person. It may be.
Well, I don't think it'd be a bot. I just think there's a whole lot of,
Malintent.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Nigerian princes out there.
Not even that. Just
mean.
bored,
Yeah,
lowly people with nothing better to do than
Make
Then
your life
cause
miserable.
trouble.
cause problems. Yeah. But at the same time, sometimes you got to react big to make sure that they.
I think to the 21-year-old who sent this to us, I think what you have to do is let them know, number one, you are not interested on any level, with the threat of, I have screenshots, I'll send this all to your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good game plan.
And
truly.
then if you hear back from them after you've told them not to, there's a good chance it's not really them.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
I got you.
deep inside all of us, we have this one skill called self-preservation.
Yeah.
And chances are, unless you're just a super narcissist.
Yeah.
You're not going, who thinks you can just talk your way out of anything.
Yeah.
Which you and I worked with one of those guys.
Yeah.
And
they set themselves up to do that so they can try it.
Yeah. Yeah. And anyway, let's see. We've got one more of these. And this one I thought was interesting. My in-laws are amazing people, and they love our kids a lot. But they go completely overboard with Christmas gifts every single year. We're talking huge, expensive, takes up half the living room type gifts. Last year, they bought our 6-year-old an electric mini car without asking us. The year before that was a giant trampoline that was delivered to our house as a surprise. The problem is my husband and I have tried really hard to keep Christmas simple. We have rules about screen time, toy limits, and not showering the kids with stuff they don't need. We've explained this to his parents nicely multiple times, but they nod, smile, and still do whatever they want. Now this year, they've already hinted that they're planning, quote, the biggest surprise yet, end quote. I don't want to be the bad guy, and I don't want to hurt their feelings because I know the gifts come from a good place. But our rules are our rules, and I feel like they're being ignored. Do we say something again before Christmas? Do we let it happen and deal with it after? Am I overreacting? I want to enjoy the day without feeling like the Grinch. Let me go first and say, are you overreacting? Absolutely. Absolutely you are. If those grandparents want to shower those kids with gifts, your rules are your rules. You said that. So you can still limit the amount of time they spend with whatever. But if they've bought them an electric mini car and a giant trampoline, and this year's the biggest gift yet, how do you know it's not a Disney trip for the whole family? Mm-hmm. That's not something that takes up space in the living room. Mm-hmm. It's certainly not something that a lot of people can just afford to do on a whim. So if they're, let it happen, and then deal with it appropriately. Mm-hmm. Because they're not going to have grandparents forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think kids learn a lot of benevolence from their grandparents. Learn how to be giving.
You know, my 2.0s, for example, the 2.0s, well, actually, all my kids do not have a grandfather on either side. They do not have a grandfather.
Yeah.
And having grown up with mine and having my grandfather until I was well into my late 30s, that's a special bond.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and don't take this away from them. I mean,
yeah, let them have that.
Let them have that.
I'm with you on that one.
Now, if they do that kind of stuff, and then it comes time to start it, maybe this year after Christmas, say, hey, we want to start a college fund for little Helster there, mm-hmm. and how much would y'all like to put into it? Maybe that could be part of the Christmas gift.
Yeah, and then they'll be getting them,
you know,
an erector set or something.
Yeah. What is that thing? What is that?
Etch-a-sketch.
Etch-a-sketch. Yeah, that's it.
And I got it from this.
Yeah,
that was really good work, because I was like,
she kind of side-eyed me like, what are you
like
doing?
how puppy dogs get, you know, just
yeah,
a sink,
yeah, Etch-a-sketch, yeah. Light Bright. Remember Light Bright?
I do.
Yeah. I remember my first Light Bright. But here was the thing. Light Bright was supposed to come with these templates. Mm-hmm. And you slide the template in, and then you put the
pegs in there. We go.
My first Light Bright didn't have
the template, so you would you had your artistic side that you had to work with.
My Light Bright was spelled Brite. I think that's actually how they're spelled.
That's how they're spelled.
Yeah.
My best gift ever, and I had them till I was a teenager, and we were still at our first house in Morgan City, so I was under 5, and it was Tonka trucks.
Oh, yes.
Those things were made hard, heavy, like cars were back then. Mm-hmm. And I had the little Jeep, and I had the fire truck, and I had those suckers until I was in high school.
Yep, me too. I had the yellow dump truck.
Yeah,
the Tonka dump truck.
Yeah,
man, that thing moved more yards of dirt around our house than anything.
If you could get 1 foot in them, they could push you on them.
Yes,
they were that strong.
They were.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I said let the grandparents buy them stuff. What's the difference?
Yeah, and here's my question: would you be as critical if it were your parents and not your husband's?
Here we go.
Perhaps.
That to me, that's the
I can empathize.
I wonder if that's not
what's going on,
at least subconsciously. Mm-hmm. If that's not part of the problem.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. I can empathize with the, it's all too much.
Yeah.
I was actually just telling your sons earlier that I am a bit of a Grinch in that way. Why do we have to have Christmas hand towels? Why do we have to have, why does the table runner have to be different in
At
December?
Christmas, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do my coworkers' kids need something when they come up to the office for the Christmas party? Why do, why? So I empathize with that. It's too much. Don't want to spoil your kids. I can understand that, but you're a parent. You don't have to spoil your kids.
Well, if you or your brothers will ever give me a grandchild, I'll show y'all what grandparents are supposed to do.
You'll have that going on, won't you?
You better believe it. I'm going to spoil a kid.
I can tell it's Sandy.
Man,
Yeah.
look, I'll be the one showing up over there just like in the morning being like, hey,
I got donuts.
what are you doing? I said, I come to get the baby. Enjoy your day.
Yeah.
Well, when you bring the baby back? I don't know.
I'll call you.
Tomorrow, maybe. Shoot.
Yeah.
Me and that baby will have time of our life. Now, he'll know how to tell the difference between tequila and bourbon pretty early, I'm sure.
How to mix a dry martini.
Yeah. Like, hey, go in there and make granddaddy a drink, baby.
Do you want it dirty?
It's funny you say that because I was thinking about this the other day. I'm not an experienced drinker, but I had never heard of a quote unquote dirty martini.
Uh-huh.
And you and I took a guy out one time,
Yeah.
A client. We took him out for drinks, and he orders this 3 olive martini, and he with all these adjectives on the end of it.
And I've never had a martini, nor do I want one.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
And Boomer and I are just looking at each other, and then this guy explains to us what all those adjectives meant. And it's like you put some of the olive juice in, and you do this, and you do that, and stick the pinky of a leprechaun in it. And
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
Or put the gin in there and then look at a bottle of vermouth. In other words, just give me a gin vodka or a vodka martini or whatever.
Whatever it is. So yeah.
The big deal is now, speaking of martinis, is chocolate martinis. And that's what the girls love. The girls, they love those chocolate martinis.
Anything that involves gin, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not much. I never did like that when I drank. So.
Me either. There's only one time in my life I ever remember tasting something that had gin in it and being like, that's not bad.
It was a slow gin fizz or something.
And I think I was in high school. Mm-hmm. So, back then we drank Boone's Farm. So
sure.
anything
Strawberry
was
Hill.
good. Yeah. Mad Dog.
Let it go.
Too many too much trauma.
Well,
from those years.
First of all, Boone's Farm had a screw top on it, and any wine that has a screw top, it's not going to be aged.
It's not quality. That's
it's not quality. It doesn't have a cork in it, and it's going to be nasty. It might as well be Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah. Well, but back then it was cheap and the girls liked it.
Strawberry Hill. And there was an apple one, I think.
Now, you got to remember.
Nasty. They were nasty.
The first time I ever intentionally drank to, try to intoxicate myself, I was about 14, and my cousin Lewis had introduced me to California coolers, wine coolers.
Yeah.
And, man, I loved a wine cooler back in the day.
Yeah.
And, they had real pieces of fruit in it, so you had to shake them up.
Uh-huh.
And
the fruit just makes you sick.
Yeah, whatever. They came in a 4-pack. And you know why?
Because the 6-pack could hurt you.
Because 6, you die.
Yeah.
And there was my favorite. There was a wine cooler back in the day called Matilda Bay.
Yeah.
It was an Australian wine cooler, and that was my favorite. But you can't even Google those and find them anymore. They don't
exist.
Yeah. So evidently, the tax on wine quadrupled with the popularity of wine coolers, and it just basically made it ineffective.
Impossible to get.
Yeah, it made it cost inefficient to produce wine coolers. So now they're all made from malt liquor.
All the wine coolers are.
Yeah, which go figure.
Even when I drank, I didn't much like wine.
I've never been a big wine drinker. Now, we went to a Christmas party a couple weeks ago, or last week, and my wife, she had a glass, and it was a Moscato, but it was sparkling. It was fizzy. and it was actually pretty good. I just had a sip of it, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I've never been much of a wine drinker. And then there's people who drink wine warm.
Yeah.
I don't why. Do y'all not have an ice
Takes bad
maker?
enough cold.
Do y'all not have an ice maker or a refrigerator or
But
electricity?
you put that bottle in.
I mean, why would you drink? I don't understand drinking wine warm.
That's the way it's drank. That's the way you're supposed to drink it.
It's the way Jesus drank it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the same kind. He made some, by the way. It wasn't the same.
Are you really going to sit here and tell me he didn't make fermented wine?
No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you it was a different thing they had back then.
You know, because that's what I got told in Sunday school one time.
At the Baptist church. At the Baptist church.
Well, it wasn't Baptist, but
it was different wine. It didn't have. Yeah, that's what my mother told me.
Didn't have alcohol in it.
Yeah, Jesus didn't. He didn't drink it.
Let me just tell you, I've read those verses, and it most certainly did.
Be ye not drunk with spirits or whatever they tell you.
To excess.
To excess.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. To excess.
Yeah.
Right, I got you.
And so, you know.
Let me tell you who makes the biggest deal out about this. It's the people in the South. Make a bigger deal out of being, teetotaler. Mm-hmm. When you get up north, it's not. I was asking some kids up north when I was in college, and we were talking and said, it's not a big stigma. Drinking's not a stigma. That nobody chastises you. So he said, most of us don't drink. I said, well, then all these kids down here, everybody drinks because they told they can't.
Because it was taboo.
You got to sneak around to go get it and do it. So then it's,
I've never been that way, and it maybe it's my fault, but I've never been that way with my kids. I've never
told them no, they couldn't.
What I've always said to them is, if you want to drink, do it right here. I'm here. Mm-hmm. I'll keep an eye on you. I'll watch you. I'll make sure nothing bad's going to happen to you.
Yeah, but there's no. That's the point. It's no fun drinking it with your daddy when you're a kid.
I
did that too, though.
Just right here.
Yeah, I did that too.
Just be in my vicinity.
Yeah, I got you. We went to Florida, and I did that with the girls. They were in high school, and I said, what do you smoke?
Yeah.
So, maybe that wasn't the best dad, but I went and bought them smokes, and then I bought them the beer that they wanted. And I said, you drink it out on the beach. There it is right there. And y'all don't have to go up there to the bar, the big bar.
Y'all don't have to get trafficked.
Yeah.
The Floribama.
Yeah, Floribama. That's what I wanted to
Yeah.
I was trying to say that because it was right down the beach from where
But
we
I've
used
also
to.
had this discussion with every one of my children when it's age appropriate. And that is, no matter the time, no matter the distance, call me.
You can always call me.
I will come get you. Mm-hmm. No judgment, no questions. I will come get you. Mm-hmm. We may talk about it in a day or two, but for tonight,
just about what happened, and
for tonight, just call me.
Yeah, I told him that,
and I'll come get you. Mm-hmm. Not a problem. Yep. Anytime, day or night, Tulsa, Houston, I don't care. Mm-hmm. Just call me. I would much rather do that than go identify you.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's
we got deep.
Yeah, pretty deep, pretty quick. She had graduated high school, and I was sitting awake in the living room. It was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning when she come walking in the door. Hey, Dad. Hey. She goes and gets in the shower. And while she's in the shower, I'm smelling tequila. And, of course, now I have a nose like a bloodhound, and it's not a good thing. It's a curse. It really is. And but I can smell tequila. Well, the air return for our air conditioning system in the house is right next to her bathroom. And so I'm smelling this tequila. She gets out of the shower. She gets dressed, towel on her head, the whole thing, and comes walking in the living room and sits down. I was like, hey, how many times have you and I had this conversation? You are never to drink and drive. One, you're not old enough. Mm-hmm. You can't legally drink. Two, why did you drive home? I would have come got you. Mm-hmm. And she said, Daddy, I had 2 margaritas. The last one was at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I think she said. That's why it's 2 o'clock when I'm coming home. Mm-hmm. I was just waiting for it to wear off.
5 hours. Yeah.
But I could still smell it. Mm-hmm. I could still smell it coming off of her body. Or in cop speak, emanating from her person.
Yeah, yeah.
But I had this discussion with the Munchkin, who's now 18. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, just call.
I don't care what the story is. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's not drinking. Maybe you're just in a situation.
Yeah,
where
you need to get out of.
You need to get out of.
Yeah.
we've had that where I've called her in the middle of a date and been like, hey, I need you right now to get her out of a situation. And but as a parent, that's my job.
Sure.
We were on vacation one time, and somebody asked me to make a pitcher of margaritas. So I'm making some margaritas, and she had a friend with her. They're the same age, dang near twins, look alike. But her friend was like, I'm ready for a margarita. I said, yeah, not a problem.
We call you mama.
I called her mama, and I said, hey, she wants one of these margaritas I'm making. I'm fine with it. I said, no one's going anywhere. You know, we are here. Okay, we're not going. No one's going to drive and I take this as a huge compliment. Incidentally, her mom said, Sandy, she's with you. I'm not worried.
Okay, yeah.
Even in the least. She said, if you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. She said, I wish I could tell you it would be her first margarita, but we both know it's not. And when I see her mom to this day, we still talk about that. Yeah. We still talk about it. But, you know, I mean, as a parent, you know, I was told, which really, I mean, come on, Buddy Sanford. Buddy telling me not to drink?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, Daddy's a little tired. If I start to reeve off the road, just let me know.
Yeah. Daddy's a little tired.
Okay, Dad.
I've been taking some allergy medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't just sit inside the Copper Door Club here at the bar with you for the last hour and a half, you know, watching you pound back Bud Lights like they were going out of style, like these were the last ones they were ever going to make. Oh, okay. Mr. Jack and Coke. I didn't just go with you to this strange woman's house and saw y'all like doing shots off each other's bodies. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Sandy is scarred.
Hey, I grew up way too fast. Yeah, I did. I grew up, and I tried not to do that to my kids, but you know what ended up happening? And I it's one of the few regrets I have to this day, is that I made her my best friend.
Yeah.
When she was probably a junior and a senior in high school.
Yeah.
She became my sounding board. She became my confidant. And I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't fair to her.
Yeah.
But it sure helped me. I mean, and if we're being honest, I'm all about helping me.
Yeah, it's all about me. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this show's all about Boomer.
Oh, that's true.
And if anyone didn't know.
We'll show you the sign. I had It's All About Me on my desk for a long time when I actually worked. Or I was supposed to actually be working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead, he had this super fine guitar in there. You know, he was talking about it last week. He said, if you can't afford a $10,000 guitar, don't ever pick one up. Mm-mm. And I was like, yeah, I made that mistake in your office. He said, well, that one was only $3,000. Well, let me just tell you, there's a difference between that and that $99 bargain bin thing I beat around on, you know.
Well, the strings are that much far off the neck.
Yeah, so, I mean.
Got to have a vice grip.
Man, that thing in his office, I was like, oh, man, my guitar doesn't fret nearly like this. And he's like, yeah, well, put that down. That's like 4 house payments.
Leave that alone.
Yeah.
Now, I got a buddy that when I said $10,000 guitar, he's a collector. In fact, his retirement is in.
Well, that's what he says. That's not really his retirement.
Well, he's got some besides that. But when you look at that room that they were in, I mean, half as big as this room, just for his guitars. And so.
Yeah, but do you see him parting with them? That's the thing.
No, he has.
Has he really?
He has over the last few years. He
started to divest himself.
He's divested himself. He's got a guy that he calls Guitar Guy, and his name's actually Guido or something. And he deals.
We all know one of them.
Yeah, but he sells old vintage guitars
and some other stuff
and repairs. Yeah. And he's a travel agent.
Contracts down on the longshore, and you know,
he's a travel agent and an art dealer.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
So he did a whole group of them. He said, I've got 25 that he's going to come and buy them all at once, and that won't make a dent in his guitars. So that one that you played broke, or the electric part of it broke, and I hadn't had it fixed. And he gave me a guitar, said, just play it as long as you want to. Well, man, I played it for like almost a year. Well, I felt obligated to purchase it. Well, he said, I've only got $400 in it. I said, okay. So I gave him $400. Well, time rocked on, and I really didn't like the guitar. Didn't have a good feel to it. It's a Gibson, and it's synthetic. It's not real wood. So I went back to him and I said, Jim, I said I want to trade this one in, and I want to stay about this much money. And so he had some pulled out already. Let me try and play, and I wind up with another Gibson. The one, if you see a country artist playing that sunburst guitar, that's the kind I got. So the guy that leads the singing at our church, young man, he's in his 20s. Well, he was playing this old Alvarez or something, and out of tune, bad strings, and but when you electronically reproduce them, it doesn't really matter. So the next Sunday I see him, and he's got one just like mine. And I pick his up and play it, and I went, oh. I said, that's not the same as mine. I said, that's the one with the good wood, isn't it? And he goes, yeah. So Jim had to stay in a price point where I wanted. Yeah. I said, well, I just didn't have that much money. He says, well, I told him I had to have one guitar. I said, well, there it is, brother. I know how much
you got the one, yeah.
I know how much that one is.
Best guitar I ever had. I had a Gibson Epiphone with the pearl inlay.
Yeah.
And I tried to do a good thing and hired some guys who were living at a halfway house to help us move.
Yeah.
And that night, after they'd helped us with the first load, they went back and made a second load all of their own.
And took it home with them.
Yeah.
I'll be dang. And the Epiphone was in it.
Yeah, that Gibson Epiphone. Mm-hmm. It's the same one George Strait plays in Pure Country.
Pure Country.
Yeah.
You get out of here.
Great acting. Don't know how I didn't win an Oscar.
You get out of here.
Don't know how I didn't win an Oscar. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
For longer than most of us can remember, Timber Lane Meat Market has been a staple of our community, where quality meats and friendly faces come standard. From everyday dinners to weekend cookouts, make it fresh, make it local, make it Timber Lane. Be sure to check out the daily lunch specials and like us on Facebook. Timber Lane Meat Market, 1336 West Hillsboro in El Dorado. Proud to be part of South Arkansas, and even more proud to be displayed on your table.
Who can solve this equation?
Ooh! Me.
Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
All right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you. Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Everybody loves a parade, and Hilarious Pizza throws parades all week long. Bring the family in for your favorites, or explore the variety that Hilarious Pizza offers. Come join us at Hilarious Pizza for the greatest parade ever.
Non-stop phone calls, registered mail, repossessions, or threats of lawsuits from creditors, and it seems like no one is willing to let you hit pause and just catch your breath. You need the help of Robert Rushing and the Rushing Law Firm. Bankruptcy is not the end. It can be a chance for a fresh start. The Rushing Law Firm goes to work for you, letting you hit that pause button and start over. Call the Rushing Law Firm today at 870-875-2940 or stop by the office at 725 Northwest Avenue in El Dorado. The Rushing Law Firm.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. Here at our favorite place, Boomer, and that's Main Street Pizza.
Main Street Pizza. Just talking to Donnie a while ago, and, it's just a fun place to be.
It is.
It's nostalgic. A lot of Arkansas Razorback things in here, and El Dorado Wildcats, and so it's kind of a nostalgic type.
Right over there behind the camera is a picture from El Dorado's baseball championship in 2012.
Yeah.
And that was you. That was the year you graduated high school, right?
Yeah, when we were setting up earlier, I looked over there and I
know those people.
I said, that looks familiar to me. Those people look familiar to me. And yeah, front and center, two guys that I sat next to at graduation because we all have last names. So
yeah. So
shout out to the El Dorado class of 2012.
Yeah, John Jameson, who's now principal at the high school, obviously. Right. He was our guest one week, and he was staring over there, and he said, "Man," he said, "let me tell you," he said, "that was my first year coaching." And he said, "We'd won a football championship in 2011, and then turn around and win a baseball state championship in 2012. He said, you couldn't tell me anything."
Oh,
yeah, he was the dude.
He said, "Man, you couldn't tell me." He said, "I just, I had it down."
Yeah, he knew what he had it figured out.
Boomer, do you ever watch did you ever watch that TV show, The Blacklist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
I loved it.
There were things that Raymond Reddington was the guy, the the main character, and he was always spouting historical facts. And I don't remember. I'm sure it was on social media. I saw one day they were fact checking his historical fact because he was always spouting them, and they were 100% accurate. Here was one that he said, and I thought this was the weirdest one. In 1890, and I wish I could talk like him, because he has that great cadence. And I'm trying to remember the actor that played him.
Spader?
Yes. Yes. In 1892, a French warship ran aground in the very northern portion of the UK. On board was a monkey dressed in a military uniform. The villagers, having never seen or much less even heard of a monkey, were convinced it was a spy, and they hanged it for crimes against the monarch.
And that happened?
That's happened. That is a historically accurate, true fact.
And they had never seen a monkey?
They had never seen a monkey.
And what year was it?
1892.
No one had been on an African safari before then?
They hadn't made it back, evidently, yet.
Oh, or the monkeys got them. Or the giraffes, or the, oh my. Lions and tigers.
No wonder they killed that monkey. Well, Jim, he left here a while back. He's not been back.
The word Irish, that's an Irish accent.
I said northern UK. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, maybe Ireland or
Scotland.
Scotland. No, we're going to put the whole way over there. You hit it with a little stick.
Yeah, how man learned to
Learn
cuss.
to play golf. Yeah,
by inventing golf. You see that hole? Shouldn't be hard to knock this rock into that hole, should it?
No,
not at all.
Not at all. We're going to do it 18 times.
Well, son of a bitch, it won't go in. Yeah.
He said it should be easy to knock a hole in a little ball. He goes, no, we're going to put it way the hell out there.
We played golf Sunday, and Jax and I and a couple of guys from CADM Architecture, Mitch and Matt, shout out, and we're playing, and Mitch was the A player among our group.
Okay.
He was definitely the better player. And we watched him get robbed hole after hole trying to roll in a putt. I mean, just like lip out right over the edge, or roll up there and hit the stick and not fall. I mean, it happened to him a number of times. And Jax looks over and says, man, as much as you're getting robbed, don't walk to your truck by yourself.
Have an escort back to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Someone will steal your clubs before you get them in the...
Some of the best golfisms I've ever heard come out of the mouth of one Thomas Teacock Mangum.
Yeah, Tom knows how to lay it down.
I hit one time and just left a huge divot where I hit. And he's like, you're supposed to call 811 before you dig.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah. Another time I did that same thing, and he was like, normally if you take that much real estate, it requires a closing.
He's something.
Man,
yeah.
Tom's one of my best friends. And,
he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. And, our thoughts and prayers certainly go out to him and Cheryl, Laura, and Blake, and Donnie and Kathy. They are all dealing with a baby who was still in the hospital. So our thoughts go out to them.
Yes, definitely,
for sure. But Thomas Teacock Mangum is man. If you can't have fun with Tom, you're a miserable person.
Yeah, you're not wanting to have fun. He did something amazing to me, and of course I don't understand it anyway, but. They added on a whole back section of their house. And did he ever tell you how he shot that, for grade and all that? He set it up through his front door, right out the front door of the house. And he shot the whole back, everything in the back.
Yeah.
Through that spot right there in the backyard. I mean, to the backyard. And, he didn't go over here and shoot it that way, get over there and shoot it that way. And, yeah.
Yeah, and, of course.
He got it all level.
Their house is a beautiful home.
Yeah, it is.
And
no one, unless you're going to their house, you most likely won't go down their street.
Yeah, if you're on their street, you're meant to be there.
Yeah,
you don't get there by accident.
And I grant you, a lot of people, and we're not going to tell them.
No,
a lot of people in El Dorado don't even know those streets
homes exist. Yeah,
because you don't see them, and it's right here in the middle of everything.
Yeah, it is. And but beautiful house, and I've been out on the man deck a few times, and most of the time Tom's always cooking something on the grill.
He's a pretty good grill master.
Yeah, he is.
I got some of his rub one time, and it just said Lura's Barbecue on there or whatever. It had Lura's name on it. And, I until I got some from you, I thought that was, yours is pretty good too.
Well, listen, it took me 10 years. He probably knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Tom's one of those guys that anything he sets out to do, he can just do it. It makes me sick.
Yeah, he can do.
Yeah. I know a couple other guys like that. Mike Poor,
Mm-hmm.
Steve Noble. Two guys that if they, so Mike decides, I'm
gonna build a house.
I'm gonna start playing golf.
Yeah.
Goes out there and drives the ball 400 yards and shoots 4 under and
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play guitar. Mike's left-handed, but he learned how to play guitar right-handed.
Well, most of them do because you can't play it upside down or string it backwards.
And so he just plays guitar and he can play well, and just those guys. And Mangum's one of those.
Yeah, he is.
He of course he did BMX racing.
Yeah, that's why he got a bad leg because of that BMX.
He can't walk through it. He can't walk through a metal detector. So
years ago, Larry Shiren and Greg Smart and I started working out at the Iron Temple when it was there over the old Ford place on end of the avenue out there, and we convinced Tom to come work with us. And Larry would, we just follow him around. He'd say, "Well, do this," and he said, "Do 3 of those," and all right. You come and you do. So Tom showed up late one day, and we were on that abductor machine where you put your legs in it and squeeze it together. You like that? And then you flip them around and you push them apart. So they said, I said, "Well, man, you got 3 sets to do." Said to catch up with us. Said, "Just get down there." And he looked at me and said, "How many?" I said, 100 each way. We were doing 3 sets of like 10.
Yeah.
I said 100 each way. And we didn't say nothing. We just let him do them. And he come back and he says, the next time we went, he says, "Man, you told me to do that." And he said, I got home. He said, I couldn't get out of bed the next morning. He said, "Man, that was wrong." And we were dying laughing. And
my legs ain't been right since.
He says, I couldn't. He said, "I absolutely could not stand up the next morning after doing 200 of those leg abductor put together apart stuff." Yeah. But Tom, he was. Most people would have come in and punched you in the nose.
Yes, for doing that. Yeah. I was with Tom when he hit a hole in one. Yeah, over on what then was number 17
at the country club.
At the country club,
Mm-hmm.
And he always had a joke when we'd pull up to number 17. He'd say "in" with a question mark.
Yeah,
in?
if you're in.
I'm like, I'm in. And what that meant was a $100 hole in one.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone was in, let's say 4 of us are playing,
You
and
gotta
somebody
pay
hits a hole in one, we all got to give them $100 a piece. And they knew they were safe. I'm never going to hit a hole in one. They knew they were safe with that. And I was like, "I don't know, Tom. I mean, that you've sunk a hole in one on this hole." He said, "Yeah, but I put enough balls in that parking lot of the Mormon church over there. They gave me a bicycle and a white shirt."
And a black tie.
Yeah. Thomas Teacock Mangum.
Good
good guy. And
so is his wife, Cheryl.
Oh, yeah. They're fabulous. Mm-hmm. And I love Cheryl used to come with him out to the golf course, and she'd ride around with us for a little bit. She'd play a hole here and a hole there, but I think she just liked hanging out with us. And I don't know why. She don't have any real friends. I guess what it was. But Micah, she started off very early in life going with me to play golf. She'd get in that cart and then got old enough where she could drive the cart, and I just
play golf.
That.
Yeah.
To the ball, James.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, not very far. One thing you don't have to worry about, me hitting it out of sight.
Yeah, that's what that guy said. He said, "Man, I don't know what's wrong with my swing." And the guy said, "Well, I think you're standing a little bit too close to the ball." He goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, after you hit it."
After you hit it.
That's an old one.
It is, but it's fun. But those golf trips, that's when I learned that Mr. Mangum could cook.
Yeah.
On those golf trips. Because I remember one year getting ready to go, and John Dew says to me, he says, "Now, Sandy, you do a lot of cooking." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't mind cooking, I mean, there was 14, 15 of us on the trip." And he said, "Now, Tom's going to do a lot of the cooking." He said, "But you're more, he always needs help." And I said, "Man, I'll be a sous chef." And I shoot, I realized real quick I was out of my element. Tom Mangum was the cook, you know. And then the last golf trip we all went on, we went to Hot Springs for a week, and Tom cooked for us then. But the pollen got to him.
Pollen?
Remember he got pollinated.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, well.
We used to, the ones I went on, we stayed in the hotel.
Oh, no, we were in a...
Y'all were in a B&B
We
or
always
something?
stayed in the house. Big, beautiful house.
Good.
Right down in...
Well, I wish I'd have kept going then.
Yeah, I wish you had it too. House at Orange Beach. I mean, we weren't on the beach. We were maybe a mile off the beach.
I got you.
But
A lot of nice courses down
man, nothing like playing 36 holes of golf a day.
Yeah.
For 4 or 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
You know, and but again, some of my favorite memories of playing golf come from those trips, and I couldn't wait because Boomer had told me the year before about the starting marshal at this one course, and that was the first course we were going to play on the first day. And he's like, man, he's old and he's mean and he's crotchety old bastard, and said he'll get in your car. Now these are fancy golf courses, Mike. I had no business being on them, but they had the GPS like right there on there, and so he'd get in there and he'd program your GPS. Say, that's your GPS.
Don't say what he said.
No, you just say, don't with it. Now get you an apple and have a nice round.
Because they had a 55-gallon barrel, wooden barrel, iced down big red juicy apples, and red apples was their shtick. He said, "Get you an apple and tee off."
So he climbs in our cart. Now you got to remember John Dews. He's svelte and tall and lots of hair, good looking, you know, and you could pass him off for a presidential candidate. I mean, and so that guy gets in the cart and that's your GPS. Don't with it. Now get an apple and have a good round. And I said, Pastor, did you catch that?
He didn't care.
No, that old man kind of slinked away.
No, did he really?
He did. You know, I'm just thinking, man, if you're that sour, why are you here? You know, he had to be 90.
Well, he was a retired military, I grant you.
Granted, no question about that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just used to saying stuff. And that's how it is.
But see, old guys, they're either a work at the funeral home, or they're a marshal, or they're a marshal at the golf course.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's what they do.
You pretty much nailed it. They go to the funeral home so they can see all their friends
as they wheel them through in the limo.
So. Boomer, you know, you and I, we've had 2 clips of ours that have went viral.
Have we?
Yeah, one of which was me saying that Gus Malzahn will never be the head coach at Arkansas.
Yeah.
That one went viral.
On Reels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the clip where I was like, who was to blame for the debacle of Arkansas football between Frank Broyles, Houston Nutt, and Gus Malzahn. That one has gone viral as well.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know that. You hadn't told me that.
Yeah, those have both gone viral. And so I'm getting like inbox messages from all over America. People wanting my take on this or that or the other. And I'm like, dude, we're not that smart.
Yeah.
You know, I just said some stuff. You know, I said some things and people heard it.
Yeah.
You know? So, in pure Tony Soprano fashion, I did some stuff.
Yeah, I did some things.
You know, allocution, no. I'm not going to allocute to anything. I'm just saying I did some things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they asked me, do I have, one of the things was I get a lot is, do I have any concerns about Silverfield as the coach? Mm-hmm. Because obviously I've said good things about him on our podcast. And I do have some concerns. And my first one is, anytime you get a coach from outside the SEC and you bring them into the SEC, can they evaluate talent at an SEC level? We saw Brett Bielema, whom I will die on this hill, is a great coach. He's not an SEC coach. He saw talent, and he's like, man, that's talent. And it might be.
But it might be Memphis talent.
But it's not SEC talent, you know. And that's my only concern. That's my biggest concern with Silverfield is that, you know, there's a reason that the SEC is not chock full of kids from Oregon. Mm-hmm. And it's not distance. It's because the talent level in Oregon is not SEC talent. Mm-hmm. You know, if you polled most of the SEC schools there's 5 states where most of their players come from. It's going to be Georgia, Florida, Texas, Alabama, Louisiana. And I only say Louisiana because LSU puts a border around. I mean, you're not going to go into Louisiana and get a kid out to go to Ole Miss unless there's a familial connection somehow. You know, Georgia's never going to go down to Abbeville or Iota or to Lake Charles and recruit a kid out of there.
Or Catholic High in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. They're never going to go to West St. John, for example, or any of those and recruit a kid out to go to Georgia.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because if a kid's worth anything in the state of Louisiana, he wants to be a Tiger.
He dreams of being in Tiger
his
Stadium.
entire life. That's all he's ever dreamed of is running out across that eye on that field.
Yeah.
You know, bum, 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 bum.
They go
That's
crazy.
all he hears, you know.
They go crazy.
And so it's not – but that's where the most of the SEC talent comes from.
Yeah. For the most part.
For the most part. So –
unless you can get some Ohio State kids come down here, Joe Burrows.
Yeah. But again, that's a generational thing. That's a generational talent. I mean, but Joe Burrow, he obviously won the Heisman and deservedly so, and won a national championship.
Is there a but coming?
There is.
Okay.
There is. But he had 2 first-round wide receivers.
Well, sure, but you still got to throw it to him.
Yeah,
they're going to get open.
I'm going to tell you,
man, he could throw stuff in the corner of the back of the end zone.
He could
that he knew his kid could catch.
I am not taking away from him. I'm just saying that it's real easy to call him as one of the greatest quarterbacks in college football history
because they recruited the wide receivers.
When you have future Hall of Famers, NFL Hall of Famers playing at wide receiver.
Okay.
And
what's your point?
An offensive line that is I think all but one of them are now starters in the NFL.
Yeah, that was a unique year.
Yes.
That they won the national championship.
Yes. And
but the thing is,
because Coach O's not that great. He's not that great of a coach.
Well, no,
he's a great recruiter.
He's a great recruiter, and he's a good motivator, and he's a Louisiana guy, obviously.
Yeah.
And so he had all those things working for him, and. But Louisiana, I don't know if I've ever been around other ones that are different or the same. It's just totally different. You can't go to Alabama and take that and put it to Louisiana because, they're rabid fans, but Louisiana is, a different kind of rabid fan. And the people in Louisiana cherish that. And I know there's other places that do that as well. But
to that level, I don't think so.
They expect to be in the contention every year for if not for the SEC championship, they want to be national.
By the way,
every year,
a lot of times, most SEC fans view the SEC championship higher than the national championship.
Well, because they're replaying it right now.
With the SEC championship,
the SEC championships on the TV back there, and they a lot of times by the time they get to the playoffs or a bowl game before we had the playoffs, they were so beat up and kids were broken legs.
When they play that, you think about it, they just cannibalize each other.
They do.
And that's I still don't understand the whole putting a 9th SEC game in the schedule. Yeah. I for the life of me don't understand.
Or just don't have a conference championship or take out the 9th game or whatever. But the Arkansas hire. And I'm not very knowledgeable about all the backgrounds of this, but I had one very disappointing thing happen, and I'm not going to name the person, but they are on TV and they are on the Razorback shows, okay? And they said they felt like it was a second choice type pick.
Leftovers, I think.
And even if it is, don't say that.
You don't say that out loud.
How are you going to recruit kids when you say, oh, well, the coach they just hired him because he was right down the road and it was easy. You can't do that. Even if that's what you think. Paul Eels would have never done that.
No.
But what I'm saying is that you can't, if you believe that and you're a broadcaster, don't say that.
You got to keep that to yourself.
If you're a Arkansas Razorback through and through and you played there and you've made your living off the Arkansas Razorbacks and you're on TV because of the Arkansas Razorbacks, for gosh sakes, don't say that this is a second choice.
I mean, obviously there was no secret they went after James Franklin, the coach from Penn State, and that didn't work out. Okay, you know, I'm not convinced he was the best coach on the market. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I still think and we'll see this time next year. I think the best college coach available today is Lincoln Riley.
I do too. But here's what I was getting to, and I didn't get to the point that I was trying to make about the culture. If you put someone in a culture that's not used to that culture or doesn't understand that culture, hence the previous LSU Tiger coach.
Yes.
He was not used to that culture, and he didn't understand it. So he thought he could come in, and this is what he did, Mike, at the introductory rally that they had. He faked a Cajun accent.
It was bad. It was real bad.
And you know, that's that day. That's like a white guy walking up to a rap group and jumping up on jump on stage with him. They're going to look at him and, man, this is, you know, be you.
Right.
He came from Notre Dame, and he was in a different culture, and the reason he wanted this because Notre Dame is independent, and he felt like you wouldn't get a fair shake. He wanted to win a national championship, and he came to Louisiana Tech.
Go Dogs.
LSU, just so he could do that. And then the word was after he got fired that he spent most of his time out on the golf course. Is what I heard. Now that may have been hearsay.
It may have been,
but he didn't have a good relationship with any of the players.
He didn't.
I know that for a fact.
Or his assistants,
because I saw the way he, you know, if I'm playing for you and I deserve something, you can get in my face on the sideline, but let's do most of that in the locker room.
Yeah.
You know, if you need to be corrected right then, but I saw him just really. And there's enough cameras around to where you can hear what he's saying. That's just not right. And Saban blessed out coaches, and he held everybody accountable.
But the difference was he had a credibility he could do that.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I go back to when I was general manager and then eventually vice president of the radio stations. I spent a lot of time on the golf course.
Well, you were doing deals, though.
I did.
Yeah.
But you know what I never heard? Not one time ever in the 11 years or whatever I was there did I ever hear anyone say one word about how much time I was on the golf course. You know why? Because I had credibility. Mm-hmm. And it was because when there were tornadoes at 2 o'clock in the morning, I was there. And when someone had to be gone, whether it was vacation or whatever, I covered their shift. Mm-hmm. When there was a ball game that needed to be done, I did it. When there was a remote that had to be done, I set up the equipment. I took it down. I did the remote. I did all those things. I had credibility. The reason you're hearing, and I said all that to say, the reason you're hearing about Coach Kelly and now, you know, everybody's snitching about what he was doing because he didn't have that credibility with them.
He didn't have the cred with the coaches or the team.
He did not appear to have paid his dues.
That's right. Yeah.
With his own assistants.
And that's what I was getting at about the broadcaster and I'm not going to say his name, it doesn't matter. But if you're a broadcaster and you've made your whole life's living and your occupation is centered around the Arkansas Razorback program, my Lord.
Yeah.
Why would you diss it? Or the new coach?
I don't understand.
Get an interview with him now after he heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. Best of luck on that. Tell you how that interview's going to go. Bunch of one-word answers. Yep.
Baz.
Nope. I've never been a Baz fan.
I said I wasn't going to say his name, but he just
I've just never been.
And I'm not a true blue Arkansas Razorback fan.
But a level of professionalism says
I've adopted them because, you know, all my friends and I want to be for the home team where I'm living. And I cheer for them. I still cheer for OU, and I obviously still cheer for LSU and anybody that plays Alabama, or anybody that plays Ohio State or Notre Dame.
See, I'm that way about Auburn. I hate Auburn. I can't stand them.
Yeah,
and I think it goes back to what I've said before. Auburn just doesn't know their role.
Yeah, they got their.
You're the little brother. Be the little brother and shut up.
Well, Alabama's in their fight song.
Yeah, no, that's Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Texas A&M has Texas in their fight song.
That's right. That's
Yeah, and, you know, I'm sorry, Texas A&M. You cannot be taken seriously if you have Texas. The University of Texas Longhorns are in your fight song. You cannot be taken seriously.
Couldn't work.
And you know, the bad part was I thought A&M had a real chance to win this year, and then they got beat.
Mm-hmm.
Now that had to be a yawner of a game, 10-3.
Mm-hmm. It was.
That couldn't have been a great game.
I watched it. It was not a very good game.
But you know, hey, far be it. You know, at least we had James Madison and Tulane in the playoffs, even though Notre Dame didn't make it.
That's a weird deal too.
That's just wild.
And did you watch the OU Alabama game?
Yeah, Alabama coming back from behind and winning that game like that. That's crazy.
Oh, you didn't score a point in the second half.
Yeah, we're familiar with that, being Razorback fans.
Hey, their defensive coordinator figured them out real quick. Mm-hmm. He was going to rush forward and play zone, and they were eating it up. OU was eating it up. They was throwing it over the middle, and so he went, oh, that's not working, and changed it. Imagine that.
Yeah. That's some Scott Reed era stuff, you know.
Change on the fly. We don't have to wait for halftime.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, man, Boomer and I would be doing games, and we'd be at a commercial break. I'd say, Boomer, look. And you'd see Reed over there with the Swami or Munden or whoever was the defensive coordinator, and he's just chewing their butt out. And I was like, we're going to see a different defense this next go around. You better watch.
He's giving them, you better get it fixed speech
and,
right now.
And all of a sudden we'd come out, you know, we hadn't run a 3-4 defense all year. Next thing you know, we're running a 3-4.
And they've drawn a little board here.
And then we're shutting teams down. You know, that was – and I don't have enough experience with any other coaches that have been in El Dorado, but that was one thing about the Scott Reed era. Being down at halftime was no problem because there was I had never seen in all the years of doing football a better halftime adjustment crew than Scott Reed's crew. They could do it. They could adjust on the fly.
Sure could.
And just change a ball game. And I watched them do it.
I remember there was a game we were down by, I think it was like over 2 possessions. Maybe not 3 whole possessions, but 2. And I think last quarter, 3 or 4 minutes, and came back and won that game. And I've noticed watching sports with other people now, you know, it'll be a game like that. Somebody's leading by 10, 12, whatever. And they're like, okay, game's over. And I'm like,
just wait.
I don't know. I've seen some teams that could do something with that. And so that is an interesting time to look back on and some of those sort of unique.
Who did the Bears play the other day? The Bears were down by like 2 touchdowns.
They weren't supposed to win. They played the
Green Bay?
Green Bay, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, now in the NFL, if you're going to do an onside kick, you have to announce.
Oh.
You have to forewarn the officials and the other team.
Because they got to line up differently.
Because they line up differently. And so the Bears score a touchdown. This game is all but over, but the Bears score a touchdown. Now they're within a touchdown. And they announce we're going to onside kick. 50-something seconds left or whatever. The onside kick, that poor kid from Green Bay who's probably never going to play in the NFL again after last week, after that game, you know, is like he was scared of the ball or something. And Chicago gets the ball, they go down, they score a touchdown, goes into overtime, and then they eventually win in overtime. I'm pretty sure you were with us at the Pine Bluff game when 30-something seconds mysteriously disappeared off the clock?
Yes. That's the same game, because that was in Pine Bluff.
Yes.
That was the same game where Luke Lansdale...
He decleated the kid?
Just, boom!
That's still one of my best memories ever.
I mean...
It hurt you in the stands.
It was so...
Violent.
That is one of the hardest hits I've ever witnessed in high school football.
Jarring, yeah.
I mean,
golly.
El Dorado's down like 28-0 at this point.
Yeah, it was bad.
And we punt the ball at the end of the first half. And I mean, it's like just seconds left in the first half. We punt the ball. That kid from Pine Bluff is clearly waving fair catch. Luke Lansdale never let up. Never.
He's making a statement or something?
I think that's exactly what it was.
I think that was the point, yeah.
He decleated that kid. I mean, he hit the kid so hard that when the kid finally got up off the ground, he ran to the wrong sideline. Mm-hmm. He ran to our sideline.
He was discombobulated.
Yes.
He was in trouble. He was in trouble bad.
I remember saying on the TV broadcast that night, I said, that may be 15 yards that's worth it. Mm-hmm. Because it set a statement. And then El Dorado comes out and scores 4 touchdowns in the second half. And we're about to score the go-ahead touchdown and win this ball game because they couldn't stop. By that point, we had beat them down physically.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we're getting like 7 yards a carry. We're handing it to the Brown, I think, JB.
No, that would have been a different year. Would have been maybe Jack Miles.
Maybe it was Jack Miles, yeah. But every time we hand the kid the ball, 7 yards minimum. And it's just like we're down in like the 20-something yard line. We're 2 plays, and we're going to be in the end zone. And we're going to win this game. And then El Dorado's going to go undefeated for the season. And, I mean, just we actually had a camera on the clock. I'll never forget, Nick Ray was a camera operator, and I heard him say in the headset, Nick, put your camera on the clock. And he spins his camera around. Wesley Hale's got the field, and I can see it on our monitor. I can see the clock. 33 seconds. And it just hits zeros.
Ball game.
Ball game.
And the refs didn't catch it, or
the refs just they picked the ball up. This is what you do, and when the ball game's over, you pick the ball up, you hold it above your head, wave it back and forth. Ball game. And they left the field. And I mean, inexplicably, we're all just like,
was Reed coach?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It took us 30 minutes before we could do the after the game interview with him because he was hot.
I don't know if I'd have been contained then. I'd have probably got arrested that night if I'd have been the head coach. Because you've seen what my temper does sometimes.
I'm telling you, it was
bad.
Our kids tore our student section. They tore down the fence trying to get to the field.
Did.
Literally tore down the fence trying to get to the field.
It was in concrete, and all the student section had
that going on,
and took the fence down at Pine Bluff.
And the whole
High
time,
School.
our student section is yelling BS.
Mm-hmm.
Bulls.
Yeah, I know what BS means.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, I was just giving you the cadence.
Okay, I got you.
I knew you knew what it meant.
Mm-hmm.
And and when we interviewed Coach Reed, I said, Coach, I'm not sure what just happened there. And he's like, nor am I. But, I'd never forget this. He said, that's okay. We'll see them again this year.
We got something for, yeah.
We saw them in the playoffs.
We saw them in the state championship.
At the championship.
Oh, that's when we beat them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I remember that happening.
Because.
Then I'm conflating. I'm mixing something up.
What do you mean?
Because the year we took no, I'm not. I got myself mixed up. No, you're right.
Yeah, we met them again in the state championship game.
Yeah.
Because they ended up as the 1 seed on one side of the bracket.
Because they beat us.
Yeah. And, that Scott Reed, at least when I was doing the games up until 2013, did not win a 6A South championship. But he had 3 state championships.
Championships, but
had 4 state championships, but
had one 6A South.
Did not win the 6A South.
That's why we were rezoned from east to west instead of north to south.
Well, there's not enough schools. That's the in the 6A.
Yeah,
and
when Mr. Tucker came and said we're not going to go back down to 5 anytime soon. It kind of disappointed. I wanted us to be able to go back down to 5.
Well, I think we're talking about 2 different things.
Okay.
I think what he was saying and what we were asking are 2 different things.
Okay.
And I can't say any more than that currently.
Okay, I got you.
Maybe by next week's show I can.
Okay.
But I'll just say this. No one likes having road trips to Paragould and Jonesboro and Memphis and Marion or Shiloh and Greenwood and,
Man, those are long trips.
Those are hard trips.
Yeah.
I would much rather be in a conference where our road trips were Texarkana, Camden, Magnolia.
Who would be else in that though? We'd have to pick up schools from Little Rock, a couple from Little Rock area.
Yeah, you'd probably have a couple from Little Rock. I think Joe T. Robinson is there, and
because over in the East, Monticello's not.
I don't think
they're probably
5A.
4A or 3A.
Yeah, Arkadelphia's 4A. There's some hot spring schools, so you might have Lakeside and some.
What
of
about
them.
the one right at Hot Springs? Before you get into Hot Springs,
Malvern?
No. I'm sorry, before you get into Pine Bluff, on the left.
Watson Chapel.
Watson Chapel.
Yeah, Watson Chapel. I think they've dropped way down.
Have they?
I think
'Cause
they're
we used to
I
play
think
them.
they're 4A now. Yeah, we used to play them. You know, they're in danger of the state taking that district over,
taking their accreditation out, and
them and
so strong
Pine Bluff and there's I think there were 8 districts
that had Fs
that received a grade of F, and I don't think anyone wants that. I don't think anyone
not
wants,
even the people there want that.
No, I mean, no one. I don't see that being the solution. That may be the Band-Aid, but that's not
the state taking it over.
Right. That's not the solution.
No, it has to be.
You've got to figure it out. You've got to figure out what it means and what it's going to take to be successful. Either that, or you have to change the standard of the scoring, and maybe that's the issue. Maybe you're scoring schools in a way that's not equitable. I don't know. I don't know that, but no one wants that.
No one wants that. Like I said, even the teachers and the school board and the administration there.
Because when the state takes over, I think they disband the school board.
I don't know. You know, El Dorado had some.
We were in danger of that at one time.
The way they used to just sit our class down, say, "Hey, we got another test coming up, y'all.
Y'all got to score on this.
Y'all are passing them. You don't need to keep passing them. You want to have football next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys want to enjoy yourself next year? Well, then you're going to have to pass this end, of course.
Enough time has passed and enough people have retired that I can say this. Micah was in a group of about 12, 14 kids. They were seniors. They were not required to take this upcoming state exam. And I don't remember. For years it was the benchmark, but it became something else. They're not required. Then Superintendent Bob Watson calls them over to his office and says, "Hey, y'all gonna need to take this test.
We need the aggregate score.
We need the overall. We need the overall score to be up, because if not, we're in danger of the state taking us over." And so she and Wilson BB and
shout out Wilson BB.
Yeah.
Ashley Pratt.
Yeah.
Michelle Culver.
Yeah.
Allie Haggai. Hannah Burroff. Dr. Burroff.
Yeah. A bunch of them.
Lots of very, very, very smart people in my high school class.
Wilson is a smart young man. Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Wilson in the last 15 years?
Oh, yes.
Where's Wilson? Oh my gosh, I think about Wilson all the time.
Yeah.
He was one of the.
He was valedictorian of your class.
He was valedictorian. He was it was me, Michelle Culver, Ashley Pratt, and Wilson that were the ones who took Spanish until we couldn't take it anymore.
Mm-hmm. You could take it more, but they didn't.
There was no curriculum.
There was no class.
Well, as a matter of fact, her last year of Spanish, there was no curriculum. They had to make it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they left it up to them to make it up. So they watched Spanish soap operas.
We watched a lot of Amor Real. It's a classic.
Real love.
It is a classic. Yeah. See, you using those Spanish skills.
Yeah.
Real love.
Amor Real.
Amor Real.
Yeah.
They always freak that when they when they go to a commercial break in those Spanish soap operas, especially
that one they had this there was an illegitimate child was the main guy, and that was a secret for a while, but then when it came out, it was a whole bunch of pans of scenes of people saying un bastardo. And so we all knew the Spanish word for
bastardo.
We'll start using that.
It brings back memories of late night radio, because when radio stations would power down at night, those stations in Mexico, they would turn it up. You could hear radio stations from Mexico City,
yes,
from where they dive off the cliffs in Acapulco, and it was and I would turn them on, and it was I didn't understand anything they said.
Yeah.
And but all the music was mariachi sounding music
Yeah.
back in the '60s. But anyway, that was that when you did that El Bastardo.
Yeah. So, but they I don't think that's the answer, is having the state take over a district.
I'm with you.
I don't think anyone wants that. I don't think the state wants to do it.
No, because then you have to bring in everybody to qualify people, and the people that are there are going to look at that as they're taking over us, and they don't think we can do it. That kind of.
My fear would be, let's just say a district does get taken over by the state. What remnants you have of good educators, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
And then what do you have?
Yeah.
So I just don't think that's a good idea. But again, I'm not well versed enough on it to know what the answer should be. And I'm also not running for governor, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, it matters for her.
Speaking of elections, obviously coming up in March 3rd. Early voting starts February 17th. But in March 3rd, we have the primaries for the party preferential primaries, which some races in Union County will be decided
there
during the primary. I know of a couple of races at least. I think circuit clerk is going to be decided in the primary. I believe there's a couple of JP races that are going to be decided in the primary. So there's going to be a lot to get to. We are hosting a debate. I believe the date. Hold me to this. I believe it's Monday the 16th, the day before early voting starts.
Okay.
At Madhouse 101. We're going to host a debate. I'm going to MC, but the moderator for that debate is going to be Shay Wilson, the former managing editor of the El Dorado News-Times, and she's going to do that. So if you are a candidate who has an opponent coming up in the primary, then we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you at our debate. We will send official invitations, but you can always just reach out to us via South Arkansas Now, our Facebook page. You can send us a message via Messenger that way. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll have you scheduled in. We plan to have as many candidates as who can be there. We've sent invitations. I mean, obviously, there are multiple Democrats running for governor, for example. We've sent invitations to them. I believe we have Secretary of Land Commissioner is going to have a race in the primary. We've sent invitations to them. And I think that's Cole Jester and Olson are running there. So it's, we plan to have a lot of candidates. It's going to be a great night. And it's an opportunity for you to get your voice out to your voters. We're going to not only have it live at Madhouse 101, but we're going to stream it live that night to our Facebook page, our website, and our YouTube channel. So if you're a candidate and you would like to get involved, please reach out to me, and we'll be happy to get you the information you need.
This will be a good night.
Yeah. What were the things you thought about going to law school that turned, when you got there, it's like, oh, no, it's not like that at all. Good or bad or...
So much. The thing that I talk about the most right now, I think, is, I had this sort of conversation with myself before I started law school. That was basically we just got to be kind to ourselves. Show
yourself some grace.
This is really important stuff. It doesn't matter if you gain 40 pounds. It doesn't matter if you're broke the whole time and can't go anywhere and do anything fun. You just got to be nice to yourself. Get through that, and then we can focus on all of that other stuff later. But we gotta put all our eggs into this basket. And I have, I have worked really hard, studied really hard, had to focus. Some things have fell by the wayside, but something I didn't anticipate of law school is that it forced me to sort of reckon with some of those things that I thought, well, I'll just deal with that bad habit in 3 years, I was almost an exclusive soda drinker when I started law school. And now, with the exception of this Dr. Pepper I've got behind me, Dr. Peppers are a sweet treat for me now. Something that I'm not reaching for every single day.
That's not $2.95 a glass.
That's right. And, I've lost about 30 pounds, 35 pounds.
I can tell that.
And that was just my blood pressure being so high from law school. It forced me to reckon with that. And so some of those things that I thought I wouldn't deal with, or that I just didn't anticipate the personal growth that would come along with it.
All right.
And the stakes are so high, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Back home, everything that I knew and, everything's normal. Why would I stop? Why would I start a new workout routine? Why would I make a lifestyle change? Nothing, I ain't got nothing going on. But then when I started, making, hitting those accomplishments, reaching those goals, and thinking, well, if I can do this really hard work with my brain, maybe I can do some hard stuff with my body too. And so that's been sort of the biggest blessing adjacent thing that I could have experienced in law school. It's hard. It's lonely.
I can imagine.
I this past semester, I felt like I got worked so hard. I hardly made any phone calls, barely took any phone calls. Those first couple of years, it was easy for me to call Dad up once a week and say, "Hey, I got a minute." I didn't have that time this past semester. So that lack of human connection has been a challenge. I mean, I have friends and I'm able to, actually see and talk to other people, but
if you put time in on social things, you're not cutting it as a law student.
There's this balance you have to, and that's something. I actually am a law student ambassador, which means I work with the admissions team now to give tours to students who are coming in who are thinking about law school. And that's the biggest thing that I try to tell people is don't give absolutely everything you have to these grades. No judge is going do good, try your best, but no judge is going to deny your motion because you made a B- in evidence. They do not care about that. You've got to get through it in one piece.
Nor are they going to grant your motion because you made an A.
Exactly. Nobody's going to care that your class rank is 4 of 89. Nobody cares. I mean, they might, if it's a difference between you and one other person and they're planning on paying you $250,000 starting out, maybe.
Yeah.
But,
live a little.
For the most part, you've got to take care of you.
I got you.
And that's something that I really didn't think I would
be able to do.
That I would be able to do, and also that it would be such a priority. Because otherwise, I mean, you'll drown. You'll drown in it if you don't get the chance to do things that give you joy. I like to, there's a city of Tulsa has a river parks authority, and they have a beautiful miles long stretch along the Arkansas River there where you can go walk. And I try to get over there several times a week, get out, touch some grass, feel the sun, remember that there are other people out there besides me. And that's such a big, important part of it. So, I've learned a whole lot as far as the law goes, but I've really learned more about taking care of me.
Yeah.
Being
those
up there.
touchstone areas that you have to really
When did she get so smart?
That's what I told you. I've been
telling you.
I told you she outgrew that family.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably one of the proudest / saddest conversations we've ever had was she said, "Dad, I'm probably never going to leave Tulsa."
Yeah. That happens a lot. People go to a college town and they don't leave.
She said, it's big enough that absolutely anything and everything I could want is here.
Yeah.
And small enough that I can be out of town in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Unlike Houston, where you could drive for 3 hours and still be in Houston.
Yeah.
So, I mean, leave
or
Katie,
cut and shoot.
leave Katie and try to go to Sugar Land.
Yeah.
Or something.
Exactly.
And, 3 hours later, obviously you did an externship. What is the difference between an externship and an internship?
So, for us, an internship and an externship usually have about the same duties, but an internship is not for class credit, whereas an externship is for class credit. They can both be paid or unpaid, but the externship, you actually get the class credit. So for me to be able to graduate with a law degree, I will need to have taken 6 hours of what they call experiential learning, so outside of the classroom. So I got half of those hours this semester working with the family law attorney up there, and really just kind of being his shadow, being right by his side, watching him, do his day in and day out sort of thing, and really, really awesome opportunity. And
which you never thought you would even entertain family law.
No. I did not. I don't want to offend you, but I tell people all the time. I say, I didn't want to deal with my parents' divorce. I don't want to deal with
right.
I don't want to deal with other people's divorces. I don't even love those people. But I got into class and I started thinking, they throw these situations out there. What do you do when ex-husband wants this and ex-wife wants this and there's kids and there's this and there's that? And I realized I kind of had that mindset of, okay, here are all these moving parts and we're going to piece them all together like this. I ended up winning an award from the Oklahoma Bar Association for my family law coursework, which I was really excited about too.
That's great.
And so I have a knack for it. So I begrudgingly took on that externship with the family law attorney, and I ended up really liking it a lot because it is, I've got a little bit of imposter syndrome, being just, a little South Arkansas girly, and, I think there's something really special about family law because it's one of those areas of law where an attorney can say, let me just shoot you straight. Mm-hmm. I don't have to use the wheretofores and here under with and all that, that we don't have to talk in those kinds of terms. This is the true blue of it. Yeah. And being able to explain why that matters to people. I think that, working in that area of the law is just really fascinating because it's one of those areas where you really can talk to people and really make a difference in real people's lives. Sure. And it's not, $1 million comma sort of situation.
Right.
We're talking about where baby A and baby B are going to live while dad's getting his degree or while mom is working nights or, and that stuff matters. It that family stuff can make or break kids. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's really important. And I don't know where I'll end up, but
you still got plenty of time.
But I definitely do think that family law is a really interesting place in the law. Mm-hmm. I'd certainly be interested in doing that. Next semester, I'll be with the public defender's office, though.
Okay.
So I'll kind of get to try my hand at the criminal law.
Well, let me just say this: that there is a very large hole for lack of lawyers in South Arkansas.
Yeah,
and so that we have law firms from other parts of the country, of the state, coming here and opening offices here, and the most of the lawyers that we had have retired out. I mean, when we had an abundance of lawyers here, so just a thought.
Just leaving that out there.
Just leaving that out there. And no one, and I had no intention of going back to my hometown when I was in college either. I said, I'll never be there. And sure enough, my parents moved when I was in college and didn't tell me where they were going. So I did. They did. They left my stuff. No, they took my. When I was 27, they had moved when I was in college. And so all my stuff from, being a child was still at the house. Now I'm married and have my own house and live in the same town they do. And Mother said, well, Troy, when are you going to move all your stuff out of here? I said, is it in your way? She goes, well, no. I said, okay, we'll just leave it right there.
But you're grown with a family. I mean.
Yeah, you're grown, you got kids. But, it's never incumbent upon one. I have a 19-year-old granddaughter who thinks she's got 2 years of college under her belt, and she's frustrated because she doesn't know what she wants to do yet. And, that's that mindset that you have as a young person. And you're still, you got a good head on your shoulders, I know. But you may not wind up in Tulsa. you may not wind up in Arkansas either, but, there are things.
I definitely plan on keeping my options open.
Oh, well, sure, yeah.
A wise man once told me that.
Wish he told me some stuff.
Her uncle?
Yeah. Clint?
It was the Honorable John Thomas Shepard, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, there's a path,
Yeah.
There's a guy who maybe did a little well for himself.
Yeah, maybe a guy you should listen to, heed his advice.
Yeah, he or his brother, either one. Of course, she did spend a number of years working for both John Thomas and Matthew.
I did.
And Shep and Shep.
Shep and Shep.
She used to say, and Shep and Shep. She actually ran camera for us on our one of our football broadcasts, the game at Shiloh. Mm-hmm. And, of course, she saw Shep and Shep there.
Yeah.
And now, when she walked off, our crew had already set up and they had their headsets laying there. And they're right next to John Thomas and Matthew. And I can hear John Thomas and Matthew talking about her when she walked off. And they're like, God, I hope she comes back. She is smart, and they're saying things, about how smart she is and how they hope she comes back to Union County. And, the Union County Bar Association also gave her a scholarship.
They sure did. They sure did. 2 of my 3 years.
That's great.
Yeah.
Made a really big difference for me too.
when you're eating ramen noodles.
Man, between getting rear-ended twice last year and then the bar costs this year,
those bar costs.
That's what she was telling me
amazed me
a while ago.
The late Robin J. Carroll, God rest his soul, he told me that he said, one year they got a application from John Thomas Shepard for that Union County Bar Association scholarship, and he said, "Man, I felt bad." He said, "I wanted to drive down and check on him." He said, when I was reading that, it sounded like he was living behind a grocery store in a box. He
wanted to go help him.
He said, "I want to go check on my kid and make sure he was all right." One of the funniest moments I've had with John Thomas Shepard as an adult has been he was prosecutor, and I get called for jury duty, and he's asking. There's like 100 something of us in there. They haven't even gotten down to narrowing it down yet, and he said, "So if one witness has an account of events this way, and the other person's is just there's a minor difference, would that make you discount one or the other or both of them?" And I slipped my hand up, and he was like, "Yes." I said, "Well, what are you calling a minor difference? A minor difference to you may be major to me. What are you calling a minor difference?" And he starts to explain. He said, "I'm sorry, what is your name?" So he writes it down, and I knew right then, I was like, the defense is going to want me on the jury for sure, because I've questioned the prosecutor. I called him out, So, and sure enough, I made the jury.
Yeah.
And we did our job.
And foreman.
Yeah, I did end up being foreman. I did not ask for that.
Well, that's, when you answer all the questions and speak up, all of a sudden you're the foreman.
Why don't you do it?
Yeah.
Man, that was a wild, I've heard stories about, but it was my first time ever on a jury, and it was a criminal trial, and to go back into that jury room, and I've wondered, how does it take 8 days to deliberate something? And it didn't, nothing like that for us. But I can see easily how it could happen.
Because different people have different thoughts about.
Because they want to go over different accounts. They want to go over what Well, didn't that witness say blank, or did they say blank? Well, we need the transcript, and then you call for the transcript. Yeah. And I mean, it's just there's a lot of that. And now all of a sudden, I could see how juries could be in a room for days at a time.
Sure.
And I think we got in there and we had our first. After they made me foreman, I was like, I don't really know how this is supposed to go, so let's just vote. I think we had 6 counts we were voting on. I said, I took the most serious one, whichever one it was, and I said, let's vote on that. 10-2. Guilty.
And it has to be unanimous?
Yes. 10-2. And it was 10-2 on every count, and it was the same 2. And so I began to notice the pattern. And, man, I'm not going to tell her name on here, but there was a lady from here in town that I know. She was on that jury, and she's the one who stepped up and really got everyone. She's the one that brought it all around and put it out there that, look, here's what happened.
As a whole,
and so at one point I'm like, can we at least all admit that this man was there? He was there when the crime was committed. And our 2 holdouts were like, yeah, he was there. Okay, then if that's the case, he's guilty on this count. Let's vote. Okay, 12-0. Okay, well, if he's guilty on that count, then this next one, He's got to be guilty of that too. Well, yeah, he was guilty of that too. Okay, so we've got two of them out of the way. And then, basically it came down all the way to the biggest charge. And this one lady said, what did you grow up with your mama telling you? If you were there and you were involved, you might as well have done it. And they were like, well, yeah. And she said, he's guilty. And it was like they needed her to give them permission.
To say guilty.
Yeah. And then finally we voted. And, at one point they were like, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm never going to vote guilty. That one of them said, I'm never going to vote guilty.
But you did.
And and so I sent a note out to the judge. Well, let me tell you what you don't do. Don't send a note out there to the judge saying we have two jurors who refuse to deliberate. Man, Judge Singleton called us out there in that courtroom, and listen, I knew he wasn't talking to me, but I hadn't had an ass chewing from a grown man like that since Edwin Alderson.
Judge Singleton, man.
He chewed us up one side and down the other. He's like, I didn't call you to be on this jury so that you can get back there and play games or play politics or whatever the hell it is y'all are doing back there. What you're going to go back there and do is you're going to go back in there and you're going to talk about it and you're going to come up with an answer, guilty or not guilty, period. You got it? I'm like, whoo. Like I said, he wasn't even talking to me, and I'm over there like,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Jan. Yes, sir, Jan. He let us have it. And
yeah, he was tough. He was a tough judge.
And we got back in that jury room that time, and everybody's mean. They're giving the mean gaze over at them two guys, like y'all just got us chewed up one side down the other. But I think that was his point. His point was, y'all aren't going to like how this is going to go if y'all don't get back in there.
Yeah, bring us a verdict.
Because if they would say, I just don't believe he's guilty, would have been one thing. But they say, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I'm never going to vote guilty. That's telling me you're not going to deliberate. You're not interested in the facts. Mm-hmm. You're just interested in voting not guilty.
Yeah. And if it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah, Judge Singleton, he reamed us pretty good.
So we need you here is what we're saying.
Duly noted.
Don't come if you don't want to.
Duly noted.
You do you.
Well, if Sandy wants a grandkid, so bad,
it's going to have to happen in Tulsa.
He gonna have to let me spread my wings and fly because it's not happening here.
Adios.
Have at it.
Yeah.
Have at it.
So we can either
yeah. Yeah.
Stay in El Dorado or have a child. You can pick one of the things to grill me on today.
Hey, this is the kid who, when I was turning 40, okay, which was a long time ago. It's right before my 40th birthday. And she'd been working all year, and she had a little money. She said, Dad, or Pop, she always called me Pop. Pop, I got a little money saved. What do you want for your birthday? I closed my eyes real tight. I said, a baby. She's like, of your own? I said, no, a grandbaby. She's like,
that's not happening.
She said, say the word. She said, 9 months from today, you pick the color.
And the guy.
That's what she told me. And she said, will that make you love me? Will that finally do it? Now, y'all, this is the kid who I think her ACT super score was like 33.
Yeah, it was something insane.
And so one day I say to her, I said, well, had you been a son like I wanted, I said, you'd have scored a 34.
Yeah.
And she looked me dead in the eye. She said, you have two sons right in that other room. If the two of them combined score a 34, thank your lucky stars. Brutally honest. Man. She was brutally honest. They did better than that.
They did. They are smart boys.
They are. And, and good kids, man. My kids, I say it all the time. Cam gets mad at me when I say it, but it's true. They are better representations of me than what I really am.
I have a friend who has great-grandchildren now, and one of his granddaughters is a nurse practitioner. And she says, yeah, I'm the favorite grandchild. I said, who? I said, you're being pretty confident there. He says, and there's a picture of them all up there with Pops, with Grandpa. She goes, have you seen those other grandkids?
The bar's not set that high.
I said, you're pretty confident, aren't you? She goes, have you seen those other grandkids? Now, they've all done well, but none of them are nurse practitioners.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
anyway.
Thank you so much for being here with us on this edition of Off the Back Porch. Merry Christmas to you and to your family, and God bless you. We hope that you have a happy new year. We'll see you next week.
with a history of being the voices you trust. This is Off the Back Porch.